spice up your life.
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has signalled that he'll form a new political party to unseat President William Ruto. Speaking on Sunday at a church service in Murang'a, Gachagua said he has a big revolution which he'll announce in January next year.
This mountain next year, the political movement that will start in this mountain, 202 will look like a joke. We shall join other Kenyans to get on the right trajectory and define our destiny. Never again shall any leader take this mountain for granted, and never again shall we ever gabble our vote. Our vote will be well organized, well calculated, well anchored and protected, so that the mountain will never find itself in a very awkward position we find ourselves in.
Gachagua further claimed that he had advised President William Ruto to cancel the Adani deals before his impeachment, but he ignored him.
Hii maneno ya Adani nilisema ni mbaya. Hata sasa hivi president amesema ni mbaya. Hakukuwa na haja ya kumpigia makofi kwa sababu haikutoka kwa roho yake. Hiyo ilikuwa ni maneno ya Amerika. He only responded after that suspect was indicted in the United States.
This even comes as Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka claimed that Azimio leaders influenced President William Ruto's decision to cancel the Adani deals.
Wakenya wengi pengine wamesahau kwamba mimi na wenzangu wengine tulienda kwa mahakama kusema uwanja wetu wa ndege hauwezi kunyakuliwa ovyo ovyo, kiajabu ajabu, na hali tunajua hewa ya nchi kimilikiwa na wageni, hata salama wa nchi huwa hatarini. So you cannot compromise a national security installation kama our international airport. Vile vile mambo ya kawi energy.
President William Ruto scrapped the Adani deals after its founder, Gautam Adani, was indicted by U.S. prosecutors for fraud. Meanwhile, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has summoned Gautam following the indictment. Also summoned is his nephew, Sagar Adani, for his alleged involvement in facilitating hundreds of millions of dollars in bribes. The two are required to respond to the summons within 21 days. Kenya joins the world today in marking the beginning of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence as rising cases of femicide continue to be a point of concern. Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi is set to lead the official event in Makueni County. Principal Secretary for Gender and Affirmative Action Anne Wangombe has already launched a series of initiatives aimed at addressing the persistent issue of GBV. In an awareness campaign held in Nairobi, Wangombe called for concerted efforts, especially from men, to eradicate GBV. She revealed that on average 4,000 cases of GBV are reported in hospitals every month, highlighting the gravity of the issue. In Kericho County, the initiative has already been launched. His nominated MCA, Fancy Korir.
We launched the 16 days of activism against the gender-based violence, teenage pregnancy, drug and drug abuse, and FGM. We are doing this because in Kericho County we have a very rampant teenage pregnancy, and we are trying to fight against it. The causes of gender-based violence is about the drugs and alcohol. We have a lot of alcohol within the tea estates and even in our villages.
16 days of activism against gender-based violence is a key international movement to call for an end to violence against women and girls. It runs from November the 25th until December the 10th. A British man has been captured by Russian forces while fighting for Ukraine, according to reports. In a video circulating online, a man dressed in military clothing identifies himself as James Scott Anderson, aged 22, and says he's formerly served in the British Army. Russian state news agency TASS quotes a military source saying that what they call a UK mercenary had been taken prisoner. in the Kursk area of Russia, part of which Ukraine has held since launching a surprise offensive in August. He says he joined the Ukraine's International Legion, a military unit made of foreign volunteers, after losing his job and seeing reports on television about the war. That's the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
.5 SpiceFM, Kisumu.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Good morning, and I love your show.
Thank you.
Having come from a Kikuyu radio background, I migrated to Spice because of the content.
I was born in a slum, but somehow I got a break in life. So sometimes when you see the sweating coming out because of the passion and whatever it is, behind the noise, there are people, and we share the same umbilical cord.
It shouldn't be like that. I am so disappointed. We used to tell Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga that he's doing politics of conmanship, and even President Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali hii ndio iko na conmanship ya hali ya juu. You cannot promise people that you reduce tax, then you double.
In politics, there is the issue of trust. For you to turn around and then stab the same people who gave you that trust, there is no other level of dishonesty. Na hii mambo utaona dunia tu.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Patrick Lodge, Otieno Lumumba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
CT Muga.
Opposite.
Ukisikiliza na unasikia opposite.
The Situation Room, Spice. The only way to start your day.
Thank you very much, Eric, and it's good to be at the Situation Room.
Always a pleasure coming here. This is the most challenging interview panel in Kenya. You guys are very well informed, and as you can see, Charles today, very philosophical.
To be poor in this country is the greatest sin you can commit, not just from a legal perspective, but from life generally. It is very, very skewed.
We've just heard on the floor of Parliament, just most recently, a leader within the ODM saying that sisi ni ng'ombe is a baba.
Yeah.
Which means that you are willing to be milked dry.
Hapo.
You cannot force me to believe. I'll give way. If it's land that I'm told to return to you, I will. Okay? Because the court has said so. But I'll continue saying, hawa watu wamenirusha. That's all that I'm doing.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
This is one of the hottest show that we can ever miss any morning, and it's a show that really gives a real situation in the Situation Room.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you guys so much. Nduthai, nice meeting you. Even beautiful in person more than in photos.
Say that again. Character is like pregnancy. You cannot hide it. You know, people hiding here and there, you know, but after 2-3 months, 5 months, now you realize, so that is why the attitude that you are showing us, you're pregnant.
It's like what my grandmother would say. You cannot pickpocket a naked man.
How's that? It's communal, isn't it?
No comment.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
If you go out of this country and come back the same person, then you have a problem. Buy land, 1 million. Put it there for 5 years. What's the purpose?
It'll have increased in value.
No, that's the thing. That's darkness. You know, that's an eclipse. You don't do that.
I hope you don't believe that a hustler is a poor person, or that all hustlers are poor. I've seen that conversation.
Tell us, who is a hustler?
Who's a hustler? Hustler is a person who is making a living through hard work.
Corruption in Kenya is a political accusation. The people who are actually corrupt are not pointed fingers at.
Kenya is not free.
Kenya imeshikwa na mateka. It's under siege.
Have you seen that lodge on Nyeri Road? Very high fence. You can't even
Windows
sleep inside.
up near the ceiling.
Yes. And if you walk there at midnight, you see bats the size of cows.
And when it rains, it doesn't rain on that building.
Yes.
When you're at All Saints and it's raining, it doesn't rain on that building.
The things people will believe.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Patrick Lodge, Otieno Lumumba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
CT Muga.
Is he the same man?
Spice.
A lion cannot eat.
Almost.
Opposite.
Ukisikiliza namna hii unasikia opposite.
The Situation Room, Spice. The only way to start your day.
Good morning and welcome to Monday. Yes, another day when the streets are wet, but let's take a look at what traffic is going to look like as we get into there. Is it the final week of November? It actually is. Let's have a look at what traffic is doing. Still trying to traverse through the city. We're not going to have too much of an issue here. We're already seeing the build-up on the Eastern Bypass. The rain is already slowing things down just a little bit. And as you come off of Outer Ring, not much happening here either. The Thika Superhighway is starting to build up with traffic as you come in from Kasarani and even before that, Githurai. But we'll see what happens as we get into the CBD. Nothing really happening. Just at the Pangani underpass, some traffic starting to build up here, and also as you get towards Murang'a Road out towards the Globe Cinema roundabout. It's busy. Where is this? This is coming off and getting towards Haile Selassie, and that's off of Lusaka Road. All of this will watch SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have CT Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
It is 6:15 already. This 25th of November 2024. Merry Christmas. How you doing, Ndu?
Ding dong merrily on high. The bells
are ringing. In heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily. That O is long, eh?
Yes.
In Excelsis Deo.
In Excelsis Deo, yes.
That Excelsis.
What does that mean?
In Excelsis Deo.
Deo is God.
Deo is God.
So what does it mean?
Praising God.
Excellent God. God is in Excelsis.
Yeah.
Excelsis.
Yeah.
Eric, how are you?
Mimi bwana.
How was your weekend?
Mimi bwana niko sawa bwana.
Ulikuwa Kenya hapa, Kenya being Nairobi.
Nilikuwa in Nairobi yetu tu.
Acha tukucall out to Sai.
Yes.
Call him out.
Call him out.
Call him out.
When we were living here on Friday, I'm going to lock myself in a room and finish all the work I'm supposed to do. And then when I start, I will not come out until I finish.
You misheard.
Hi.
That's not what he said.
Sasa. Did you do like that?
Yes, I did.
Did you finish your work?
I didn't finish.
But
he started.
Did you start?
I started.
Okay.
I plowed quite a bit of it.
Well done.
Yeah.
I must say I'm so proud of you.
I was locked in.
I was half expecting you to send us pictures and say, guys, nilitoka tu kidogo. Look at this road.
Buana. Hey, no, I couldn't.
Yeah?
No, I actually did.
Well done.
Yeah, I locked myself in and did quite a bit of work. Bado ni mingi bwana. Hii dunia hii.
Get an assistant.
Yeah.
Hii dunia hii.
Get an assistant.
I know an assistant. I know somebody who can help you. The rates are not too bad. Yeah.
Akona rates poa.
Kabiza.
Very good. Ni sawa bwana. And you, how was your weekend?
It was fine, thanks.
Did you travel?
I
Did you
went
go
to
out of town? Isiolo.
But
it's hot.
But she had mentioned. She had mentioned she was going to Isiolo.
Yes, she did, but that was mentioning. Now you're confirming.
It actually happened.
Hey. So now, what did you find in Isiolo?
I didn't expect it to be. I don't know why. I just
Have you been to Isiolo before?
No.
Even before you went there?
It was hot.
But now you've gone and confirmed for yourself.
Confirmed for myself.
So we can say that now you've been to Nanyuki.
How?
It is
pass through, yeah, for sure.
How on earth do you get to Isiolo?
Without, I was wondering.
And there's a place called Narumoro.
Maybe she flew.
Narumoro, yes, I actually saw it and I saw the sign.
I was
tempted to come out and take a picture, but
You should have.
it was raining.
Oh, it was raining there.
Yeah,
It was raining there.
It was raining.
Okay. And then you go to Nanyuki.
Yes.
Nyanyuki.
And then there's a place called Timao.
Oh
my
How beautiful is that place?
Yes.
Did you stop at least and take a photo?
Yes.
Very good.
Oh, amazing. And then on the way back, it was now raining and it was misty. You couldn't see beyond a foot in front of you.
Hey. Lovely, eh?
Great.
Lovely, eh? City, what did you do?
Me? What actually did I do? See, I did what I normally do. But there was a difference.
Frank, do like that. Frank, do like that. What did you do?
What I normally do, sit, chit-chat with my siblings. Now, the thing called Zoom is very good.
Zoom is nice.
Zoom is very good.
Where is Frank?
Frank,
he's not there, bwana. Frank, are you there?
Frank anatuangusha bwana.
Frank, go ahead. Imeenda.
He literally imeenda.
Lydia was here.
It's a rare sighting. It's like they say, the rare sighting of the gibbous baboon. The rare sighting of Lydiah Maina.
Wa Maina.
Lydiah wa Maina.
Anyway,
we'll go on to your story.
Yeah, I was telling you, I met an old colleague of mine. As in the
all your colleagues are old.
Wow.
So let's just go on.
Wow.
What do you mean?
No, he's got a point. I was about to explanation it.
Okay.
Yes, this one is not old. I've just known him for a long time.
Okay.
So he's that category of long time being old and not chronologically ancient. Not that one. So we had a wonderful time chit-chatting. We met with some other friends. You know, it is you go to an establishment to meet one friend, then others come in. And you had planned to sit for half an hour.
Yeah, you end up
3 hours later.
You're still there.
And still talking.
Yeah.
So it's called catching up.
Catching up. So you catched up very nicely.
We catched up very nicely.
Very nice. Let me tell you how we shall be catching up with our day today. From 7 a.m., we shall be talking about the Sarit Your City Light the World Giving Machines launch. At Sarit Your City, Dennis Mukasa, who is a stake president, Nairobi East stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You know those ones?
So, Jehovah's Witnesses?
No. Mormons. Yes.
It's true. Yes.
He is the stake president. I don't know now.
Steak ile ya nyama. Steak ile ya kuweka nini?
Steak ile ingine. Na si stick.
No, kuna steak. You can put a steak up.
STAKE.
Ile ambao they used to kill vampires.
That one.
Steak.
So he's the stake president and Nairobi East stake. Kezia Kabutu is the head of marketing at Sarit. So both of them are coming at 7 a.m. Let's hear about this thing of lighting the world, giving machines launch. Sawa.
And each one of them is coming with a stick.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. One thing that I expect to see Dennis Mukasa dressed in is in a black suit and a white shirt.
No more.
Let's see.
Then he shouldn't come alone. Sorry.
8 o'clock, we will talk about CBC transition, the gap between public and private schools, and how this is clearly clearly seen. The school principal of Kitengela International Junior School, John Wanyonyi, and the administrator and curriculum delivery expert in the same school, Elfas Omunandi Chisienya, will be joining us at 8 a.m. At 9 a.m., Senator from Busia County, Senator from...
You get it right, bro.
Senator from Busia County, Okia Omtata Okoiti Andrew.
He's not a senator of.
No.
He says he's from.
He says he's from Busia.
He is from
He's a
Busia.
senator
He's a senator of Kenya, of the Republic of Kenya. From Busia
County.
He does have a point.
Point here can imagine. The role of public engagement in shaping a presidential campaign. So this guy has gone ahead and placed a notice to the public in the Kenya Gazette.
Yes.
That he has formed an exploratory committee. What? This guy is taking us America, huh? This guy is Americanizing us so much. Okia Omtata has formed an exploratory committee, presidential exploratory committee, to look at the viability of him vying for presidency.
Watu wanalipo.
Atatuambia.
The committee sasa.
Atatuambia.
Okay.
Does he say him or does he say looking for a suitable candidate?
Him.
He called, his name is in the notice.
The committee is to check whether he would be a viable candidate.
For president?
Yes.
Of
the Republic of Kenya.
The country.
He wants to be president.
Yes. 9 a.m. Okia Omtata will be here with us. So keep it here for that. 23 minutes after 6. Let's get the weather focused.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day. The weather with SpiceFM.
Cloudy and rainy conditions in Nairobi this morning. We'll see highs of 21 and lows of 15. Partly cloudy at 15 in Nakuru with highs of 24, and we'll see highs of 23 in a mostly cloudy Nyeri at 16. The rain is coming down in Eldoret at 14 with highs of 21. Mombasa is partly sunny at 26 with highs of 32, and we'll see partly sunny conditions in Malindi as well, going to highs of 32. Mostly cloudy at 20 in Kisumu with highs of 26, while Kakamega is raining at 17. We'll see highs of 25 and lows of 15. We're looking into a rainy Kampala at 18, highs of 25, and we'll see partly sunny conditions in Dar es Salaam, going to highs of 32. It's 17 and already sunny in Johannesburg with highs of 29. And we're looking into a partly sunny Mogadishu at 27, going to highs of 31. While it's 9 degrees and sunny in Addis, we'll see highs of 23 and lows of 8. Mostly clear at 25 in Lagos with highs of 33. While it's partly cloudy at 25 in Kinshasa, we'll see highs of 31. It's raining Monday afternoon in Beijing at 6 degrees. We'll see highs of 7 and lows of -2. Partly cloudy with temperatures rising slightly to 16 degrees in Paris. We'll see highs of 17. It's also a rainy morning in London at 11 degrees. We'll see highs of 13 and lows of 6. And around things off in New York, where Sunday night is 8 and clear. Coming into Monday, highs of 11 degrees and lows of 6.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
24 after 6.
Don Sabo says good morning. Now Mrima ni chaos, cheering, chasing, heckling, usiguze Mrima Rick G is around. Boss. It seems that if you need to gain popularity as a politician, get impeached. Yeah. Get fired, because my goodness, did you see those numbers yesterday? Anyway, Michael Olande says it's a chilly morning in Chigari.
Oi.
Jimmy Munothi is greeting us this morning from Eldoret, where it rained a lot and it's still raining. Hamjambo wana Spice, tumeshukuru jua, or I think he meant kwa baraka za mvua. Tumeshukuru pia kwa kazi yenu ya dhati. Sana sana achieng jamani. Kwa kusoma ujumbe zetu, mbarikiwe sana. What's ujumbe? Message. All right. Even Tabu says, good morning, everybody. We see you, brother. Thank you so much. Eliana Yabesh says, good morning. Best day of the week. Love you guys. Ready to download information. Thank you for being here. Fritley in Minnesota is where Duncan Monari is. And Vinny Betts is tuned in as well, watching from Pakistan. Interesting. James Kamau says, good morning, Situation Room. Getting you loud and clear from Forney in Texas. Mzee wa Matulinga. What are those? Twitter Jaguna is greeting us this morning from Machakos. Good morning from Seattle, ready for hot conversations. Looks like there's a revolution cooking, says Joe Mungai. Oh, sorry, before that was Wangari Njoroge. She says last week, but one, the church returned Sadaka. Last week, some Kenyans said Okay, I don't know. Como esta says Ndu Eric and landlord. City, I'm assuming landlord in Wewe. My prince is greeting. Robert Tobogo says good morning. James Kamau is greeting us as well and says that the KK regime should stop harassing clergy who speak out against oppression. Sawa. It's another week. Yes, it is, says Chris Maura, Onganyi Malala, Kimani Kenneth, Agri Momanyi. Monique is tuned in as well. Leo says, good morning, Princess Ndu. Good morning, Leo. Eric and CT, the discussion over the weekend laid bare that the citizenry is the biggest threat to the motherland, not politicians. Elections expose our love for our tribal lords. Wow. Good morning, Kenya, where a lot happened this weekend, says Musi Els. Indeed it did. Johnston Asava is here. Sir George Gashori is tuned in. Sandra Sherrier is tuned in from Costa Rica. Jeremiah Mutai says he's tuned in from Githurai. Ivan Omondi is here. Rachel Wajiro, good morning. Did you hear the events of how Mrima made the weekend very entertaining? Which year are we in? You didn't know? 1963. Tibbs Muga, George Kimando, Eric War, Sammy Lidanya rather, Louis Rudasingo is tuned in this morning, Patrick Waishigo, Whittleson Obonyo, Irene Iregi, Wajohi, Bernardo Kello. So many people have clicked in this morning. So good to have you. Eileen Jones has given us our flowers this morning, literally. And Jackaware is tuned in from Edmonton. Sylvester Kengo, Bwangi Juma, Events by Morgan, everybody, even if I didn't get to you, we see you. Karibuni sana.
Yes, City. Where are we this week?
We are still in sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay.
But we moved to the southern region of sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay.
Yes, and we are in the kingdom of Eswatini. Also formerly known as Swaziland.
Why did they change it?
Eswatini just sounds now, nicer.
Yes, and
can we change this Kenya name?
Yes, we can.
Something else. I think Kenya just has too much baggage.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, we should rebrand.
And what do you think would be a good name?
We can start that campaign. What's a better name for Kenya? This Kenya thingy is not working. The same way we're doing a national dress.
It is true.
By the way, you might want to say it quickly. They could just do everything together.
Yeah.
Say, okay, national dress, new name, new everything. Yeah. New outlook. The eagle has landed.
If you go on with that new narrative, there'll be very many new things.
Yeah. Right? New airport. Oh, no, that was kind of plunked to the toilet.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get there.
New,
We change even the leadership.
Yeah, new
everything.
Yes.
So we spend the next 2 years basically just rebranding ourselves. Come 2027.
Boom. Maybe even a new president.
Yes.
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yes.
Yeah. The name...
He could come with a different name.
Yep.
Indeed.
Even him can change his name.
Yeah.
that could be a requirement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything must go.
Yes.
Not just you.
So instead of just being so-and-so, sons of so-and-so, we can be like our friends in the kingdom. Call himself William III.
Okay. So we are
name.
in Eswatini.
Yes, the name was actually takes from the king Mswati II.
Right.
Not this particular one. There was an earlier Mswati. That's where not Mswaki. Mswati. I heard you. Okay? That's where the name comes from, all right? It's landlocked. My friend, this thing is landlocked. It's really, really landlocked. But very, very diverse climate. Topology also diverse. One of the tiniest countries on this continent. However, this country where you find capital is one, then you have commercial. These fellows are interesting. They have two centers. There's the executive capital. It's called Mbabane. Then they have a legislative capital. It's called Lobamba.
You said this country is one of the tiniest in Africa.
Yes.
So it's basically like the size of what? Of
Nakuru.
Let me give you perspective. It's bigger than Seychelles.
It is smaller than what's that? That Nini Wajir. It's smaller than Aldas.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Aldas a constituency. It is smaller.
But this one is smaller.
It is
so
smaller.
we could say then it's the size of what? Kiambu County?
Kiambu is big. But let's give it Kiambu. Let's be generous and say Kiambu is big though, but let's give it Kiambu.
So why on earth would you have one area? So Roiro is the political capital and then Kabete is the...
You've understood it perfectly. No. You could even say it starts with Thika. Then you come to Roiro. But if to understand it,
okay,
when South Africa was being formed, and there were all these goings on. First of all, there was the Boers fought the locals. Then there were the Boer Wars where they were fighting the British supremacy. There's Boer, the Boer Wars. There was one, and then there was two. In the process,
there was a constrictor.
Yes, the British, true. The British just carved out this small little thing here. Okay. And that's it's in the middle of South Africa. It's the only country that is bordered, okay, in the north, west, south, southeast by South Africa.
By South Africa.
Okay.
So it's right in the middle of it. Right. The proverb.
Oui.
The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit.
Zagazelle, sorry.
This is
a gazelle.
The antelope that is constantly falling.
No, the antelope that is constantly that is constantly moving will fall into a pit. Moving.
The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit.
Yes.
Okay.
Or do you want me to give you another proverb?
No,
this one's good enough.
It's fine.
We can deal with that one.
We can continue with this one.
Okay. Let's
you very
look at
much.
traffic quickly first, then we shall look at the headlines.
No holla.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
New Life Prayer Center and Church chini ya Pastor Evangelist Ezekiel inakutangazia ibada kubwa ya meza ya Bwana.
Tunapokutana kwa mwili wa Yesu na damu ya Yesu, tunapeana chakula kwa yule mtu wa ndani.
Baraka za kufunga mwaka 2024, kupokea nyota, uponyaji, unabii pamoja na kufunguliwa kabisa. Ibada hii itafanyika tarehe 4 hadi tarehe 15 mwezi wa 12 2024. Mahali ni Mavueni, Mombasa nchini Kenya. Watu wa dini zote, watu wa mataifa yote mnakaribishwa.
There is some traffic in the city coming off of Landis and then going towards Haile Selassie. In and outbound traffic on Haile Selassie is already a thing. Also, a quick look at the Thika Superhighway, and there it is. Traffic is moving into the CBD and has packed up significantly right around Survey. It's also starting to come in heavy from Kasarani. Even before that, we're seeing some traffic coming in from all the way in from Githurai. So that is likely to pile up this morning. It is Monday after all, people back into the city and doing all kinds of things. So let's look at that. Coming in from Ruaka through towards Limuru Road, looks okay for now. We will see a buildup of traffic coming off of Waiakwe at some point. So let's plan for the morning, shall we? If you're out, well done. If not, you want to think about your routes. We'll talk in the meantime. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
So the front pages.
Front page of the Standard this morning. Money, power, respect. Sounds like a rap song. Anyway, inside, you would never believe the next one. The Catholic Empire. Money, power, respect. Inside Catholic Empire, the Catholic Church has unrivaled social welfare investment that touches many lives, especially among the marginalized, whether through schools, the healthcare system, or spiritual nourishment. Over the years, the Church has invested in people to such an extent that when its leaders speak, everybody listens. Of course, this is in line with what happened a couple of days ago, when the Catholic Church bishops came out guns blazing. So it's not just wanting to do a story, it's understanding the intrigues of the Catholic Church. Mudavadi takes Raila's AUC drive to Angola. Why? But okay. Governors, give us our money now. Governors are saying, stop it, this game, we're not doing it anymore.
Sasa hivi.
Tupatie pesa zetu, tuende zetu.
Reminds you of a song, doesn't it? Money, 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 money. That one.
Money! Taka pesa zetu.
Yes.
How Ruto's
Donald Trump will never forget that.
ever in his life. How Ruto's big gamble paid off. There was a gamble? Okay, well, I guess it paid off then, because now we're talking about facing turbulence in the political circles and a crowd baying for blood. The president played a hidden card, tilting the scale. Really? This happened in Kenya? Okay. So, on the front page of The Nation, why 10 judges face ouster over 3 billion shilling land fraud? Ooh-wee. Wakili Ahmed Nasir is somewhere saying, decisions by several judges over the years regarding a 443-acre piece of land in Juja, Kiambu County, are threatening to grind the Supreme Court's operation to a halt following a petition seeking removal of 4 of its officials. The Kenya Cultural Centre Council chairperson Kungu Mugai and former Gatundu MP Njengi Mugai want 10 senior judges dismissed for alleged misconduct in handling the dispute. This is not just a be in your bonnet kind of situation. This is serious.
It's not. I think it's hyperbole, that headline.
You think so? It's too much?
10 judges face ouster.
Over. Of course, there's procedure. It's not just that you're going to go and say, here's an ouster motion, and then by Tuesday,
and this is 2 people who are basically just challenging decisions of various courts.
Yes, over time. Yes.
That's what it is. It's challenging the decision of the court. So what you've done is that you've introduced an opinion of some kind of mishappening, right? Because the decision did not go in a way in which you would say was your favor. You decided that somebody was
and
corrupt.
the story didn't begin yesterday, by the way.
No, it didn't.
It's an old story. We've read about it here a number of times.
Yes, we have.
Continue.
Gachagua. Ruto not sincere on Adani. He spoke specifically and he said, unajua nini? Mimi niliambia rais asiguze hii kitu. You know, he was not listening to anybody. I was the one who could be able to tell him the truth.
I'm the only one
who could tell him the truth without fear
or favor.
That is, but nilimwambia and he refused to listen to me.
And now, look.
Now see. Angenisikia. Sasa unaona?
So that's the beauty of this conversation that
come after the fact.
And also involve 2 people. You can't corroborate.
You can't. And no matter how thin you slice it, my friend.
But he said, they said. So it stands, they said.
Listen, President Ruto did not cancel the Adani deals because it was from his heart. It was because the Adani operations had been flagged in America.
Yes, because deals are cancelled from the heart usually.
Given a choice, he would not have cancelled them. That's what Gachagua is saying. He's not because he wanted to.
Everybody seems to know why that deal was cancelled, isn't it? And it's really in the realm of speculation. Do we really know?
No.
Well, Ruto said it's in the wake of new evidence.
That's what he said. Yes.
But I guess it's just coincidental that this new evidence has come on the same day that the fellow was indicted in the US, So
it's really
coincidental.
Yes, exactly.
So we just have to wait and see what happens as a result of this. But, Kenya decided there's a deal here at the airport. We're going to cancel that on the same day.
Because if it isn't coincidence, then how do you explain that it is said when we're having speech of the nation? No, sorry.
State of the Nation address.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Yeah.
See? How? It's not coincident. We were planning to have it anyway.
Yeah.
It's just that the State of the Nation was already planned from when? The Constitution sets it aside.
Yes, exactly.
At a day in November.
So it cannot be said.
It cannot be said that the president cancelled the Adani deal because America was arresting him. This thing was planned.
America were doing their own thing.
Kenya doing its own thing. Now we want to join the 2 of them.
It has not been proved that he was involved in bribery, corruption.
No.
It's just they think he was involved and they told him, come explain,
and talk to us.
Evil.
Yeah. Inside state plot to pull plug on live transmission of election results. Climate talks end in disarray as poor nations reject a meager 39 trillion shilling deal. They said, sorry guys, don't be using us like sabuni alafu inaisha mnaenda kutafuta ingine. How rule change in technology will affect Safari Rally cars. Okay. That's on the back page of The Nation. Voila.
All right, the Business Daily. Kenya Power writes off 2 billion shilling bills as users vanish. Kenya Power has written off 2 billion shillings in unpaid electricity bills that it says it has lost hope of recovering, underlining the impact of defaults by customers on the utility. The amount is higher than the total dividend of 1.3 billion. Dividend 1.3 billion. Bad loan 2 billion. Can you imagine if that had been paid? Dividend would have been... Well,
is there evidence that what they're saying actually happened?
What?
These people who disappeared with their money.
Is there evidence that they disappeared with the money? Maybe
Is there evidence that they actually existed?
Maybe the audit would reveal such kind of things.
So, are we giving this information is from an audit?
It's from Kenya Power itself saying this its report.
Yeah, let's wait until the audit tells us. So just give us
I'm sure the audit has already been capturing these 2 billion shillings of debt.
Me, I'm skeptical until I'm proved otherwise. Yes.
The big headline, CBK rules to protect banks against panic withdrawals. The CBK is asking commercial banks to raise their share of cash or liquid assets to enable them to respond to mass and panic withdrawals by customers for at least 30 days. New guidelines on short-term liquidity issued by the banking regulator require banks to raise their available cash above the current requirement of 20% of the deposits to withstand a sudden and a severe run. So basically, banks are being told that now look here, you people, look here. Can you determine the way people come and withdraw money in your branches? Can you have at least 30 days of liquidity in cash with you?
Eric, we've never had this story before. Why are we hearing it now?
Why are we hearing it now?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
So we'll look at it later. Okay, let's look at it later, because
the new guidelines come amid speculation on social media of lenders placing curbs on withdrawals on alleged cash crunch in the economy. The CBK is dismissing the rumors, terming any talk of instability in the banking as erroneous. This is what the bank said. The banking sector in Kenya remains stable and resilient and is adequately capitalized.
Okay.
The intent behind these malicious attempts is usually to induce panic, leading to action which may destabilize the market. So they're saying, well, we are seeing that it's actually possible that people can just wake up one day and start a karuma that causes a bank run. So now to protect the banks from such kind of things is what we're saying, raise your thing to 30-day kind of money. So that in case these people start those rumors again on social media and people start coming and all of them want to withdraw their money, you have money.
Okay.
In liquid cash.
These people who are starting the rumors, they have money in the bank.
Who are the people who start the rumors? Who knows? But the people who have money in the bank panic.
They know.
The people who have money in the bank.
So if I don't have money, I don't have to panic.
No.
What are they going to take? Or what are they going to not pay you with if you don't have it anyway?
You're not going to the bank anyway.
So essentially, I don't have a problem.
Karo Mutisi has written an article in the Business Daily today. Just as the good book says that this world is not our home, neither is that organization your home. It belongs to someone else. That company that you work for, you go to work every day at 3 a.m. Siya mama yako bwana. Siya mama yako bwana.
Kama hiyo kampuni na jina lako haiko
the same. Kama huko kwa pale kwa CR12. Forget it. Okay? In the People Daily, they say Riggy G might beef with Ruto on Adani deal. As in, Rigathi Gachagua just stood in church and he actually believed that people would believe him.
Yes, no. My friend, if you come inside with rapturous applause, people are following you like, then you have all the audacity and effort to stand there and say what you want. After all, you have the support of thousands of people.
I used to be the one who was saying it in cabinet that no, Mr. President, this Adani deal is stinking to the high heavens.
I'm the only one that was not afraid to tell him. Shh. All these other guys were afraid. They were afraid.
I'm the one who was telling him the truth.
I told him the truth.
And we believe him now that he was a clean one.
Of course, now after the fact.
He was the clean guy in that government. Now that he's out, the government is just rotten.
It's collapsing, in fact.
It has
if
collapsed.
You look carefully.
The same way he said, ati tumepata 93 bob kwa account. Ndio sasa anasema, unajua hii watu yote.
That 93 bob was withdrawn.
Bas. And that's the way he says it, not our watu. Hii watu. Hii watu ambayo wamebaki huko ndani.
At broad-chested government.
Hatuna watu hapa.
Kuda.
Defiant president vows to continue church donations. Mimi, I know the power of giving and I shall continue. I am a product of giving.
There's an English word for it. It's called bravado.
Telling
you. There is a product of giving. And a joke peana. President William Ruto yesterday maintained that he will continue raising funds for religious organizations. Shut up. Days after the Catholic Church rejected and vowed to return his cash donations in a city church.
So,
hardcore criminals behind spate of murders and robberies The disappearing Masai Mara indigenous forest. Oh my goodness. And then let me take you to the what? And City, you'll come and tell us about the Star, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about let me tell you about the Taifa ya leo. Taifa leo, mpango wa ODM kubaki hai pwani. Magavana Nasir na Mungaro wakutana kuhusu uchaguzi ujao wa chungwa. Okay. Ni sawa. Sheria tata dhidi ya IEBC konjiani. I think we read that as well in the Nation. That there is mswada wawasilishi wa Seneti kuzuia IEBC kupeperusha matokeo moja kwa moja. No live broadcast of results. But I don't know why senators would even... Anyway. Mbadi aanza kusaka afua kwa wastaafu. Umeelewa? Mbadi aanza kusaka afua kwa wastaafu.
Saka is a football player.
Yeah. Abuni kamati ya watu 18 kutafuta namna ya kulipa malimbikizi ya pensheni.
I like that word. The mbilikizi what?
Malimbikizi ya pensheni.
Pensheni I know, but the mbilikizi.
Umbilical code.
Basically, what Mbadi has done is, remember there was a story about pensioners not getting their pay.
Yeah.
And they're not getting their money. Yeah. So Mbadi has now started looking for a solution to the staff.
You could select a committee.
Afua ni kuja na afueni. So now he has
afueni. Okay.
Same to her.
Yes.
He has now formed an 18-member task force. Kutafuta, you know, kutafuta. Namna, you know.
Reason.
Namna is mbinu.
Way forward.
Way forward.
Yeah, kulipa, you know. Yes. Malimbikizi, you know.
Virupu.
Malimbikizi yani, malimbikizi ya pensheni yani, malimbikizi. Umelimbikizwa.
What are those?
Arrears.
Hey, kwanza kwa hapo kwa arrears mimi najua.
Unaona? Kuna malimbikizi. Nitazidi kuchangia kanisa, Ruto asema. Haya, bang in the middle of the paper. Katikati mwa gazeti. Kuna picha ya wanaume watatu hapa. Mwanaume mmoja anaitwa William Ruto, mwingine anaitwa Musalia Mudavadi, na mwingine anaitwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila is, you never call Raila with that two names. He's Raila Amolo Odinga. Okay? He's not Raila Amolo Odinga.
Hey.
Pumzi hafifu ya Raila 2027. Pumzi ni
breathe.
Hafifu.
Breathe out.
Hafifu.
Hafifu week.
Comme ça.
Oh, okay.
Ya Raila 2027. Yes. Karata wakirejelea uchaguzi wa 2007 ambao Raila, Ruto na Mudavadi walishirikiana bila Kalonzo na Mlima Kenya. Wadadisi wanasema Ruto atalazimika kutanua mbawa zaidi kisiasa ili ahifadhi urais. They are saying basically Raila is bringing not much into this equation.
Yeah, 2027.
Wachanganuzi wanasema Raila pekee bila kura za Mlima Kenya au Kambani hataweza kumpa Ruto ushindi. Raila alone without Mlima Kenya, without Okamba.
Sorry.
No ra.
Ongeza hii kitu yoyote kwa Ruto. Bwana Ruto anafaa. Bwana Ruto tosha. City. What's in the SAR and the East African?
Right. Let's begin with the broader East Africa. Besigye he had it coming. What did he have coming? Well, every time there is an election nearing, the drama we see unfolds in Uganda. And at the heart of it is Brother Kiza Besigye. Okay? So, that is what they mean. Besigye in, Besigye out. Okay? Unending Sudan strife. It is no longer about needs of the local communities, but the interests of the international players. Story on page 8. Dar holds out as dues default hit $76 million. The old problem of budget underfunding is threatening to mar EAC's record, with some of their holdouts being unhappy with its accountability record. One thing is a given. Nigeria will come from the Grammys with several wins.
Nigeria.
From
the Grammys.
Grammys. Divided news. A divided opposition heads the polls. Chadema is grappling with wrangles days the grassroots election.
Tanzania.
Tanzania, TZD. Opinion. When the church speaks, government listens. Catholic bishops lead the clergy in denouncing ills of state. Money. Cartels brew a bitter cup of tea for government. Kenya takes on volumes of unsold tea at auction. This is not good. This is not good. Because now this sector, which has been booming, is now unbooming. Not good. Outlook. New sheriff wants different. The new sheriff wants it different. Trump's surveillance powers worry civil rights groups. Okay, they can worry. Markets. Equity Bank relief to its borrowers. It slashed its rates to below 26% ahead of meet with CBK. It was at 26. What? Right. Now, the Star, top right-hand corner, in Till Green, governors blame COB Nyakango for delayed release of county funds, isn't it? This one usually is just a tip of the iceberg. This story is never quite as simple as it sounds. UN report slams county over rising femicide cases. Okay?
Which county?
UN report slams country over. Sorry, forgive me. Very sorry. Africa recorded the highest rates of intimate partner and family-related femicide last year. This was mainly driven by increase in killings in countries such as Kenya, a United Nations report indicates. Okay, worldwide, UN Women said 85,000 women and girls were killed across the globe internationally in 2023. This is not good. This is disturbing, very disturbing news.
Yeah.
Dozier exposes surge in crime and high cost of living. The devastating effect on unemployment in the country has laid bare a national security report that President William Ruto presented to MPs when he addressed the nation last Thursday. The report reveals crime, especially theft, went up generally, okay, as Kenyans struggle to make ends meet and amidst rising unemployment among youth. Why cervical cancer is killing more rural women. Early cervical cancer symptoms in rural women are being mistaken for urinary tract infections, side effects of family planning and other chronic problems. This often leads to prolonged delays before proper diagnosis, which comes when the disease is both costly and difficult to treat. This is what a new study suggests. Bang in the middle of the paper. Blessed are. Lawmakers say fundraising appeal bill will erode brotherhood. Senators reject Ruto's bill on Harambes. Proposed law stops political aspirants from fundraising at least 3 years before elections.
From fundraising or from donating?
From fundraising.
This one is for the purposes of elections.
3 years before an election?
Yeah.
At least.
They want to be able to start 3 years in to start to raise money, isn't it?
No, it says you're barred from fundraising 3 years
but now
before
the
an election.
senators are rejecting that. You see?
Who had done that?
They want to reject it.
There was a proposal like that?
Yes.
By who?
It's a story bill in Fund 5. I won't stop donating the church, President William Ruto says. Okay, that's what the president has said and that he has said.
Good.
Okay.
Higher.
Let me give you one story.
Yes.
But before that, I'll have to tell you that today is the 25th of November. You're aware. And we have been told previously that by the time the year comes to an end, that the 16,000 classrooms that are needed for the grade 9 transition, etc., will be completed.
Yes.
So I'm here to tell you on this 25th of November, with my full chest, that last week we got news that just under 5,000 of those classes have been completed.
Okay.
So about
the others are at an advanced stage.
Well, I don't know about that, but we've got about 30 days for those to be completed.
Yes.
So let's wait and see. It will be interesting.
How many are done? 5,000 completed.
Not just under 5,000.
5,000.
4,800
out of 16,000.
Yeah.
My God.
So I just wanted to tell you that, that's what it looks like.
My Lord.
I know it doesn't look good, but hey, take it as it is. Let's go to the business pages real quick, because whatever is happening at the counties is not funny. All right?
Yeah.
If I can find it, it will be great, because, time is going and the paper has refused to open.
Which story? The Nyakango story?
No. Yeah, give us our money now. Here we are.
Got it.
All right.
Very good.
Governors accuse budget boss of delaying funds disbursement. The controller of budget, Margaret Nyakango, has been put on the spot over accusations by a section of governors that her office is frustrating cash flow from the exchequer to counties. Governors Fernandez Baraza Kakamega and Dr. Wilbur Otichilo Vihiga claim that Nyakango was gagging them from raising issues in her office that delay the disbursement of funds to the counties. Now, according to Baraza, 3 days ago, I asked the COB to change the approval request. But yesterday, I was told the request from Kakamega County will not be approved because I have been on the front line. Alafu sasa unakuja nikufanyie favor. Hey, my friend, sit in the corner and put your hands up first before we discuss other things.
Face the wall.
Yeah, face the wall with your hands up. Barasa, who doubles up as the COG chair in charge of finance and economic planning, said long approval processes at the COB were frustrating the devolution and urged senators to intervene. Where senators don't work moto chini anini. We should not have our chief officers persistently traveling to Nairobi for these processes, yet all the 47 counties have a COB coordinator who looks at these requests before they are sent to Nairobi. So now they're saying our CECs have to leave here, go to Nairobi, have a conversation, come back. So why do you have a COB convener at the county level? So that's what they're there for. Why do we have to travel and spend the money that we don't have? There's a systematic attempt to frustrate devolution by the COB. Senators, you have to save devolution because counties depend on you. We have held mediation talks and MPs and senators have had an opportunity in Parliament to defend devolution. Health, agriculture and construction of markets are devolved functions and yet must be coated and devolved back.
You know, these two offices need something, all right? They just need a mediator. They need an actual sitting where each of them comes out and says, this is why I do what I do. Because these accusations and counter-accusations are not good. If the governors keep saying this, the controller of budget says, this is what I'm doing, can we just have someone come them in the room and say, this is why we do what we do?
We had these same complaints in the Uhuru era, did we not? And they say, months, we haven't received money. And on the other side, but we released money. It's
controller of budgets, controller of budget, this and the other. If there are requirements that need to be fulfilled,
then please say
explain. So. Let me give you a bad story as we go to the top of the hour. Today is the first day, 25th of November, first day of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, right? And we saw that story over the weekend where even the PS for Gender went to Nakuru because of the attack on this particular woman.
Yes.
The businesswoman. And police are looking for the man who's suspected to be behind the attack.
Yep.
Now, there's a sorry story here. A medic at a private hospital in Kiambu has been charged with the rape of a patient. The 26-year-old woman had visited Plainsview Hospital in Ruiru to consult a gynecologist on the afternoon of Saturday, November 16th. The gynecologist advised her to undergo a pelvic scan and referred her to a radiographer identified as Robert Kiplangat. In the room, Mr. Kiplangat advised her to take off her clothes. He briefly left and returned with 2 bananas, claiming the hospital lacked the necessary medical equipment. He reportedly told the patient that he would put a condom on a banana and use it to carry out part of the procedure. He then asked her to lie on her side, facing the wall. She later told police that she felt an unusual pain, and when she turned, she saw Kiplangat partially undressed, wearing a condom and in contact with her. She screamed for help, but the door was locked from inside. Luckily, her screams had already attracted the attention of other patients and the hospital management. The victim reported the complaint at Ruiru Police Station. She was examined at Ruiru Level 4. The suspect was arrested and subsequently arraigned at Ruiru Law Courts on November 19th. He denied sexual assault charges and was released on a cash bail of 200,000 shillings, but he remains in remand as he was unable to raise the bail. The victim has appealed to well-wishers to provide her with psychological counseling and legal representation. She's also urging the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council and the Ministry of Health to investigate this matter.
My God.
Let's just end it there. It's 7 a.m. It's time for the news.
Morning, this is the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira. President William Ruto has said he'll continue donating to the church days after Nairobi Catholic Church declined its 5.8 million shillings donation. Speaking on Sunday during an interdenominational service in Kericho County, Ruto said he'll not apologize for giving to the church.
We understand the word of God enough to know that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And that is what we are going to do. So msikuwe na wasiwasi, tutajenga makanisa yetu. We have absolutely no apologies to make as we give to God, because God gave first.
President Ruto also used the interdenominational service to urge Kenyans to sign up for SHA.
Hatua ya kwanza kwa mambo ya afya ni wewe ujisajili. Uende pale, ijulikane majina yako, mahali unaishi, watoto wako ni ngapi.
Wakati wowote wakati kuna mabadiliko, wale ambao walikuwa wananufaika kutoka corruption, sana sana ile ilikuwa kwa NHIF, hawawezi kukubali. Ndio hao wamejaa kwa social media saa nyingine na fitina na maneno ya uongo.
President William Ruto has suffered a blow in his bid to regulate Harambes after senators rejected a bill that technically bars them from participating in the fundraising drives. In a near unanimous rejection, the lawmakers said the Public Fundraising Appeals Bill 2024 will erode what they termed as brotherhood spirit Harambes have instilled over the years. Wajir Senator Abbas Mohammed said Harambes have created cohesion in the country. President Ruto, through Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheriot, had introduced the bill following Gen Z-led protests in July, citing corruption and the opulent lifestyles of some state officers. The proposed law forbids aspirants for political seats from participating in Harambes at least 3 years before a general election. The bill also prohibits all state officers and appointed public officers from participating in Harambes during their term in office. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has insisted that the Social Health Authority, or SHA, will benefit all Kenyans. Speaking in Samburu County on Sunday, Kindiki said the health sector reforms are well-intentioned and aim to alleviate the pain of meeting medical care costs for a vast majority of Kenyans. Kindiki added that SHA, whose benefits include preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative and palliative health services, will work for all Kenyans, the transition challenges from NHIF notwithstanding.
I can say without fear of contradiction that the new social health insurance will work and it will benefit the people of Kenya.
Mambo ya afya ya serikali ambayo imekuja itashughulikia hata mambo hiyo ya kansa. Tunaomba hiyo process iende haraka, watu waweze kusaidika.
Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi is set to lead the official launch of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence at an event in Makueni County. Principal Secretary for Gender and Affirmative Action, Anne Wangombe, has already launched a series of initiatives aimed at addressing the persistent issue of GBV. She revealed that on average 4,000 cases of GBV are reported in hospitals every month, highlighting the gravity of the issue. In Kericho County, the initiative has already been launched, led by nominated MCA Fancy Korir.
We launched the 16 days of activism against the gender-based violence, teenage pregnancy, drug and drug abuse, and FGM. We are doing this because in Kericho County, we have a very rampant teenage pregnancy, and we are trying to fight against it. The causes of gender-based violence is about the drugs and alcohol. We have a lot of alcohol within the tea estates and even in our villages.
War-stricken Sudan is in danger of becoming another failed state because civil society is disintegrating amid a proliferation of armed groups, the head of a leading international aid agency has said. Jan Egeland of the Norwegian Refugee Council said that apart from the two main warring parties in Sudan, that is the army and the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces, there are many smaller ethnic enemies looting and going berserk on civilians. news. For 19 months, there has been a brutal power struggle between the army and the Rapid Support Forces. The war has forced over 10 million people to flee their homes and pushed the country to the brink of starvation. In September, the World Health Organization said starvation in Sudan is almost everywhere. That's the News Wire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
One of the things that are ailing our country is negative ethnicity. You find you as a state officer, instead of thinking as a Kenyan, you think like a tribal person.
Let me tell you something. The biggest problem we have had in this country is a leadership deficit. There is nothing that you are going to do in the process of change if you are not a risk taker. So you really have to pursue your vision to a logical conclusion and even be ready to step on people's toes.
When it comes to the economy, you can run away with it. They say statistics are like bikinis. They reveal a lot, but they conceal the vitals. And so government people would throw statistics at you and tell you they're revealing a lot of information to you, but it's really concealing the real vitals.
We need to get out of that, because when we want to grow our democracy, one basic thing that really requires to be understood by the political class, by all of us, is institutions are critical.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. SpiceFM, Nakuru.
When you're impeached, you're impeached. When you're sentenced, you're sentenced.
Madam Chief Justice.
Until the sentence is set aside. Ukibeba vitu kwa roho utakufa. If you carry things in your heart, you will die.
The reason for which you went to school and then gathered experience, that reason must be paid for.
All right.
Oh, okay.
This level.
Shape up or ship out.
Levels don't change.
No. Since about shipping out. You know my business partner here.
Shipping out.
Are we talking about the ship in the bathtub? Or
the ship man?
Emmanuel Talabu used to tell us a story of they were in school and they've been told to write composition about a ship. His classmate raises a hand. Teacher, are you talking about a ship or a ship goat?
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
all right, with the rain in the city this morning, it means it's going to slow things down just a little bit. But we're not seeing any crazy hold-ups, at least not for now. Wairimu is already teeming with activity. Let's take a quick look at James Gishoro, and that looks good over the drift as you get out into the city. And not much happening on the Red Hill Link Road either, not at this point. There's a little bit of traffic. Actually, there's quite a lot of traffic on Uhuru Highway. Some of that traffic coming off of Langata Road, some of it coming off of Mombasa Road, and Lusaka on the other side. So that's pretty busy. Haile Selassie is a beehive of activity. It is actually coming into the 20th of November, and we know that that area, as they sort out that pedestrian underpass, will be closed. Already work has begun, and so that's why we see this crazy traffic coming off Landis, going then towards Haile Selassie. It slows down quite some. All right, coming off Thika Superhighway, we've already seen some traffic is starting to pile as we get towards the Pangani underpass. It's all wait and see for now. We'll talk. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room. the only way to start your day.
It's 10 minutes after 7. Good morning and welcome to the second hour of Kenya's biggest conversation. It's the 25th of November, 2024. Today is very many things, and it's also the beginning of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. As we talk about very many things that happen in the country. Sasa skiza, yeah? You have been thinking about coming to the end of the year. Yes, that's one. Think about later in your life and your plans for life. We have talked about this for 2 weeks now. There are people who have heard it and they have started doing something about it, and there are people who are hearing it for the first time today, and they will definitely start doing something about it. And this is, think about what's those 3 things about wealth? You build, you grow, you
create, then you manage,
grow,
then you grow.
You grow and then you manage. Yeah. Create, grow, and manage your wealth. Not just for you for now, but also for you for future, for retirement. Yeah. And last week we had the 2 bosses from Standard Chartered Bank. And we were talking about this and what Standard Chartered Bank is able to do, especially if you think about priority banking. So remind people who didn't hear it about it.
Okay, so here we are. A situation where you can say, okay, so I've been trying to think what to do with this money that I have, or at least the little that I have, and I want to make it, grow it in the future. Which better folks to go to than those who've been in the business for 100 years to be able to show people what to do with this money that you have, where to place it that it's going to grow for you, who to talk to. And they keep saying, everyone just buys land. No, you can diversify your investments, and you often say, okay, so this diversification, where is it? It's okay, because the folks at Priority Banking, Standard Chartered, will be able to tell you all of this, everything that you need to know, where you need to go, where you need to put your money, how much of it you need to put aside, every question that you would have. Email prioritybanking.ke@sc.com. Somebody's willing to be able to sort you out and have a chat with you.
Yes. So we're getting into the festive season. That's why we're saying Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays already. 25th of November. This is the last week of November. Next week, Christmas week. Christmas begins next week, right? And this is the season where we all start thinking about what to do, and giving. And giving is one of the things that we want to have a conversation on. Light of the World giving machines being launched at the Sarit, your city. Kazia Kabutu is head of marketing at Sarit, and Dennis Mukasa, stake president at the Nairobi East Stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Kazia, Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Good
morning.
Good to see you here, Dennis, as well.
Good, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kazia is our friend. She's been here before. So you see that she has the confidence of someone who's been here before.
Yeah.
So we have made the seat hotter for you, Kazia. That's a hotter seat of the Situation Room. And Dennis, that's a hot seat of the Situation Room. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
You will tell us about this giving machines, what it means, and especially when you talk about Light of the World giving machines, what's that all about? And very many conversations we're going to have in the hour. First, listen to the day's proverb. CT has been looking at proverbs from undersea Africa. From the Africa that is south of the Sahara.
Yes.
Okay.
Sub-Saharan Africa is what it's called. We were in the eastern part of Sub-Saharan Africa. Now we've moved to the southern part, and we are in the kingdom of Eswatini. Yes. Formerly known as Swaziland. They decided this Swaziland thing isn't working for us. Eswatini is better. Yes. Named after the king, Mswati II. Not this particular Mswati. There's an earlier Mswati II. It is him whom the country is named after.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some guys in the West have been mocking him as the last absolute monarch. You blah, blah, blah. Those kind of things.
They don't know what they're talking about. They need to go to the Middle East. He is not the last absolute monarch. Something I thought I should just mention to you. If you want to refer to a person, and to, like we say, we are Kenyans, Nigerian, what would you say about Eswatini? A person.
Somebody from Eswatini.
Yes.
An Eswatinian. What do you call an Eswatinian?
What do you call an Eswatinian? That's correct. What do you call an Eswatinian? Do you know? Well, even I didn't know before I started reading it. It's called a Liswati.
Liswati.
Yes.
One person.
One person.
And there are many?
Emaswati.
Emaswati.
Yes. And the language? Siswati.
Okay?
Okay?
Okay.
He or she?
Yeah, where? Please.
Eric. Let me just read the proverb. and let's move along, shall we?
Problems on Monday morning.
Yes, exactly. I see where it's going with this. The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit.
The antelope that's constantly moving will fall into a pit. Kazia, what's your interpretation of this proverb?
Guys, I think... No, I don't have an answer.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do.
Think
you
about
thought about it, and then you said this I don't think will work. That one which you said wouldn't work.
It will work.
It will work.
So the antelope that keeps on moving will fall into a pit.
Yes, it will.
So I'm thinking the person that has got no direction will somehow end up in a hole or somewhere. Oh,
no.
I'm wise.
No. And we told you.
Yes.
Dennis, what's your interpretation?
For me, I think if you keep moving, just moving for the sake of moving, you will end up perhaps in a place that you didn't intend to be. Without a vision, that is. Yeah.
If you keep moving for...
You would do.
Yes.
Loitering without intent.
Yes.
Utashikwa na polisi. You will end up in a cell.
Yes, and you'll be charged with vagrancy.
Bahas. Okay. Good interpretations. Mr. President Dennis Mukasa.
Yes.
You are stake president of the Nairobi East stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
I think let's start with the church. And then now you shall bring us to the stake and then to Nairobi and then to Nairobi East.
Yes.
Okay. What is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a worldwide church that was established in the year 1830. The headquarters is in Salt Lake City in Utah. Currently, we are over 17 million members globally. But in Kenya, we are about 22,000 members of the in Kenya, across over 40 congregations.
What do you mean congregations?
In over 40, what we call churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
40 churches in Kenya?
Yes,
okay.
Over 40 churches in Kenya. Yeah, so the church has been in Kenya since the early 1980s, but officially recognized in 1991. That's when it was officially recognized.
What do you mean when you say it was officially recognized?
As in officially registered. Official registration.
It was registered?
Yes.
Before, how was it registered?
Before it was operating, the church, the members we used to meet, but the legal recognition had not been granted at that time.
It was just a fellowship?
Yeah. And then in 1991, we got the official legal registration.
Okay.
In Kenya, yeah.
Okay. So what is it? You are Christians?
Yes, we are Christians.
What's the difference between you and other churches?
We're actually the same.
All right.
In very many aspects. We believe in God. We believe in Jesus Christ. And also we believe in the Holy Ghost. Though what really is different is because apart from the Bible, the Holy Bible that we have, that we believe to be the word of God, we also have an additional volume of scripture called the Book of Mormon, which is another testament of Jesus Christ, that testifies that Jesus Christ truly is the Son of God.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the differences that we have with the other churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is the church then organized? For example, these 40 churches in Kenya. We see other churches. We see diocese, deaconry, parish. How is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints organized?
So how the church is organized is that at the basic level, we have what we call a branch, or if it's larger, we call it a ward. What we call like any other church. If you go to a church, you call it, I don't know, you can call it a let's say a unit or something like that.
Okay.
So when you aggregate wards or branches in a geographic location, then you get what we call a stake.
Okay.
Yeah. In more familiar terms, let me use terms that are familiar to most people, especially with our Catholic friends. A diocese is an area representing a larger group of Catholic churches.
Of parishes.
Yeah, of parishes, yes. So in this case, a stake is a geographical administrative region representing many wards or branches of parishes in that case.
So it's like a diocese.
Yes, like a diocese.
I
Only
see.
That, yeah.
So that's what we call a stake.
That's what
and
we call
stake
a
here
stake.
is S-T-A-K-E.
Indeed.
I don't know how different to pronounce it from the other stake.
Yeah.
So it's
It's pronounced the same actually.
Yeah.
Steak nyama.
stake, same.
Yeah.
All right. So Nairobi East stake is like Nairobi East diocese.
Yes, correct.
How many stakes do we have in Nairobi?
We have three. Three stakes.
And as stake president, you're like a bishop in a diocese.
Yeah, I preside over the stake.
Right.
Yes.
Karibu, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Sana.
Now we'll talk about the Light of the World giving machines that's being launched at Sarit. So, Kezia,
Yes.
Sarit does very many things,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
We've talked about, the retail spaces at Sarit,
Mhm.
but also the exhibition space at Sarit,
Mhm.
right? So, where does this fall?
So this is a very important initiative for us, being the mall of choice, being the premium destination mall in East and Central Africa. For the first time in Africa, the first time, we'll be hosting these giving machines at Sarit. It's an initiative that is fun, that aligns with our values of being a family mall, being compassionate, and also being philanthropic, but in the most fun way. So this particular giving machine is like a vending machine where you can actually swipe, and any donation that you actually swipe, right, goes back to the organizations that the Church of the Latter-day Saints has selected to be part of this initiative.
So, whose initiative is it? Is it Sarit's or is it the churches?
It's a partnership between
The
both.
two.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to the beginning. What is this partnership?
So this particular partnership has been brought about by the Church of the Latter-day Saints, right? And it's a partnership that started in Utah, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this particular initiative started off in America. And it has spread across the world. And it's coming to Sarit through the church itself. And this particular initiative, you'll be able to give anything from a goat to school fees to a family in Kenya in need. Yes.
Okay. So I'm very interested in the mechanics of it all and how, if we could just jump into that, I think there'll be other peripheral conversations. But so how does this work exactly? Because when you say a machine, I'm thinking, okay, so there's a machine that you stick a coin in and then it lights up. Or what is it that you do? What are you putting in? Are you putting in your donation? Or are you putting in what you want to give? How exactly does all of this work now getting into this season?
Okay. So a giving machine basically is a vending machine that works in the reverse. So instead of buying, let's say, a candy or a can of soda for yourself, it works the same mechanics as a vending machine. But now you go and select an item. You can select, maybe you want to buy a hot meal for a family in need somewhere. So you go and select the hot meal, and then you pay. Only that now you not get the hot meal from the machine, but there's a token that will come out from the machine that now will be given to the non-profit organization that is in charge of delivering that hot meal to that family.
So on the thing,
there
are different options. Like how you not go to a normal and you can get a candy bar, or you can get a soda, or you can get gum, or whatever.
Yes.
So in this case, it's hot meal, goat, school fees, something.
Yes.
So then I put in.
You pay?
I pay.
You pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For whatever
What do you do
item.
first? You first select what you want.
You select what you
Yeah.
want, right? So we have the hot meal that is going for 200 bob, right? So you pay via card or via M-Pesa, right? And then
for the number that you want.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the item falls at the bottom of the bin, right? And then from there, on the 15th of January, all of these donations will be collected and split among the different NGOs that we are working with to make sure that that hot meal goes to that particular family, or that goat goes to that particular family, and so on and so forth.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So how many items are here?
So in this case, we have 30 items. We have 30 items. Wow. We have vegetable seeds. We have chickens. You can buy chicken for our family. We have beehives. We have hygiene kits. We have school kits.
Chickens as in live chickens.
Yes, they'll be given live chickens. Yes.
They're not in the machine city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chicken.
Live chicken. Yeah.
You said what? Sanitary?
Hygiene kits.
Hygiene kits.
Yeah.
Right.
Primary school scholarship. You can contribute to a child's school fees.
Primary.
Yeah, primary.
Primary is free in Kenya, boss.
Yeah, but we have things like uniform that the parents have to buy and books, things like that.
No, books are free. So what are we contributing? It's uniform.
Yeah, uniform and other educational materials. Things like sometimes they also get food in the school, and that non-profit will take care of that.
So what's the idea behind this? I mean, I can see it and I can understand that. Okay, fine, you can pay a little bit of something, and somebody during the festive season or just after gets something that they wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But what is the idea behind the giving machine?
Yeah, so deep within each one of us, we want to do something good. We want to help. I think it's in every human being, and so the objective really of this is to give you that opportunity to go out and help, to share the light, to light the world, to help those who are in need in a fun, memorable, and instant way, so that you can uplift those who are in need. And like in the example of chicken, of course, you're not giving them to go and eat. These are livestock that the beneficiaries will be given so that they can grow and multiply them to be able to earn income and also improve nutrition. So in the end game, really, you are helping communities to become more self-reliant and also generate income to sustain themselves and their families. Yeah.
Where else in the world does this happen?
So the initiative started in 2017 in Salt Lake City, Utah, and then it expanded 2 years later to about 5 cities. Last year it was in 61 cities, and this year it has been expanded to 106 cities. The initiative is being done in the US, in England for the first time, also in mainland Asia, in the Philippines, and in also South Americas. And for the first time, this is the very first time it's being done in Africa, and also being done in Nairobi. So it's really a historic moment that is being launched for the first time in Africa, and most importantly in Nairobi here.
How long has this initiative been in force?
For 7 years now.
7 years.
Since 2017, yes.
Was there anything that prevented it from coming to Nairobi, Kenya, Africa?
Yeah, because this was it was really a very relatively new concept. Yeah, and it was launched because there was a question that was asked: how can helping someone be instant, memorable, and fun at the same time? So throughout the years, it's a concept that was piloted and tested over time, and as you have seen that it has really blessed a lot of lives over the years. So we decided, let's also expand to come to Africa for the first time, and I know in the future it also is going to be expanded also to other areas.
Explain to me this fun bit. So you're essentially telling us that spending money is fun.
Yeah, helping others.
But it's actually more important if other people's lives are benefiting from it.
Yes. The objective really of the giving machine is not to raise a ton of money. The objective really is to have you help another person. And when you do that, you feel good within yourself. And also it's a fun way of doing that, because sometimes you want to help, but you don't know where to help or how to do that. So the giving machine really gives you the opportunity on how to do it, and in a fun and loving way. Because you can go there with the family, say, hey, you want to buy a goat for a family, and then you choose the goat there, and then you pay, and you feel good.
Okay, but how then do we know that the goat actually gets to the person who needs the goat most? Or how do we know that the chicken gets the person who needs the chicken?
So the church is working with these non-profits, which are actually trusted non-profits they're experts in the work that they do. So once the funding is given to them, there will be an accountability of the funding in March next year, a public accountability of the funding, and then it will be given to the NGOs. And then we usually have monitoring and evaluation activities. So we'll go and visit the work that they do and verify that actually the help was going there. But really at the center of it, we have no doubt that the help will get to the beneficiaries. Yeah.
So, Kazia, can I choose which I want it to go to, or is the choosing is now up to you? Once I've bought the goat, I've bought the hot meal, you decide who is going to go to?
So we have the listed NGOs that we're actually working with, right? Are Kenya Red Cross, UDHBT of Kenya, UNICEF, Caritas, Church World Service, and Clean Up Kenya. So any of those initiatives that the NGOs are coming up on, right, you can actually select and say that this school bag from UNICEF is what I actually want to purchase, right? So once the bag is purchased, right, it goes now back to the donation bin, which will now be collected by UNICEF and delivered to that child in need.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take a break. 29 minutes to 8. We're talking about giving. We are in that season now. 25th of November. Come on, we are already in it. There's a season for giving. And we are witnessing the launch of the Light of the World giving machines at Sarit. And Kezia Kabutu, who's the head of marketing at Sarit, is here with us alongside Dennis Mukasa, stake president at the Nairobi East stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Ndu,
yes.
As we do all these things, let's also talk about when you're giving, you must have something. Right? And this is something you have built and then managed with the help of Standard Chartered Bank.
Why? Because you may have started with just a little, or you may have had a windfall and you're like, okay, so look at me, all this money all over the place, what am I supposed to do with it? Well, okay. So the folks at Standard Chartered will say, look, let us be able to guide you. Come and let us hold your hand. Let us show you how you can actually make wise investment with what you have. Or if you're starting at the very beginning and you have just a little, let's show you the best places to put this money so that you can actually have something for the future. It's priority banking with Standard Chartered Bank. Remember, send an email and the folks will be very willing to help you out. prioritybanking.ke@sc.com.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
New Life Prayer Center and Church chini ya Pastor Evangelist Ezekiel inakutangazia ibada kubwa ya meza ya Bwana.
Tunapokutana kwa mwili wa Yesu na damu ya Yesu, tunapeana chakula kwa yule mtu wa ndani.
Baraka za kufunga mwaka 2024, kupokea nyota, uponyaji, unabii pamoja na kufunguliwa kabisa. Ibada hii itafanyika tarehe 4 hadi tarehe 15 mwezi wa 12 2024. Mahali ni Mavueni, Mombasa nchini Kenya. Watu wa dini zote, watu wa mataifa yote mnakaribishwa.
The weather with SpiceFM.
Cloudy conditions in Nairobi. The rain still continues. We'll see highs of 22 and lows of 15. 24 will be the high and lows of 15 in a partly sunny Nakuru. And it's cloudy after the morning rain in Nyeri at 15, going to highs of 22. It's raining in Eldoret at 14, highs of 21. And we're looking into a partly sunny Mombasa at 26 with highs of 32. 32 would also be the high in a mostly sunny Malindi. And it's partly cloudy at 21 in Kisumu with highs of 26. Kakamega raining at 18 will go to highs of 25. And we're looking into a rainy Kampala at 18 with highs of 25 as well. It's sunny at 26 in Dar es Salaam with highs of 32, while the sunny conditions continue in Johannesburg at 18 going to highs of 29. It's sunny at 28 in Mogadishu going to highs of 31, and at 11 Addis Ababa is sunny and we'll see highs of 23 and lows of 9. It's mostly clear at 25 in Lagos going to highs of 33 through Monday, and partly cloudy at 25 in Kinshasa with highs of 32 and lows of 23. Okay, so whatever is happening here is crazy. The traffic coming off of Jago Road going towards Landis and then trying to find its way towards Haile Selassie is busy. We also see quite some traffic coming in from Ring Road and Ngara, and also General Wairimu Road now trying to join that. So this whole trifecta of traffic here this morning is absolute madness. And then it's going all the way, touching traffic from Moi Avenue, going towards Haile Selassie, and then the incoming traffic from Uhuru Highway is not funny at all. That coming in from Gong Road is also causing mayhem in the city this morning. A quick look at the Thika Superhighway, and there's traffic coming in all the way from Githurai. That's another mess that if you're not in it, thank God. If you are, we'll say a prayer because you're going to need it this morning. Kiambu Road is also busy. It's very busy coming off of Limuru Road at this point as well, and everything has started bam at the same time. Okay, James Gishiro is not going to give you a breather either as you cross over Waiaki Way. So it looks like we're going to need a prayer this morning to get through the traffic. Let's talk in the meantime. SpiceFM, KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
That email always, that email is
prioritybanking.ke@sc.com.
Yes. Talk to people who know these things, people who have been there for over 100 years, people who have experience from across the globe, the only truly global bank operating in Kenya today that can help you grow your money and your wealth using various currencies globally. So we are talking about giving. It's the season. It's that season again. Spread the cheer. Make sure that, as you enjoy Christmas and festive season with your family, you can also spread the cheer to other families in need. And that is what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has partnered with Sarit to bring in this thing called the Giving Machine, which is light of the world giving machine with the Standard Chartered, with Sarit and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Thank you.
Kazia Kabuti is the head of marketing at the church.
Congratulations.
And then he's the stake president at Sarit. Good. So Kazia, when are we launching this?
So this first African initiative is being launched at Sarit on first floor on the 30th of November at 12 noon.
30th of November?
Yes.
At 12 noon?
This Saturday at 12 noon.
Okay.
Yes.
This Saturday is the 30th?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is 12 noon important?
Oh, no, it's just a time.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no significance to it.
Okay. So what are we expecting to see on that day?
So on that particular day, we have choirs that will be coming in from all over the country, from as far as West Pokot to as near as Nairobi. And they will be launching these machines at Sarit. So we'll have the choirs that will be leading up to the launch area, which will be on first floor. And then we'll have some performances from the particular choirs, and then we'll launch the machines, and then shoppers can actually now interact with the machines.
Sarita, if you tell someone go to the first floor, they will get... Which one is the first floor?
Yes, exactly. Because
what do you mean, guys?
Depending on the entrance, where you come into Sarit.
First floor is first floor. We have wayfinders. We have Sarit maps.
It's the floor that was what?
I am here.
First of all, those maps, I'm sure they work.
Yes, Charles.
But
there are people who can read maps.
I am one of those people who can read maps.
The floor that has what is the first floor?
The first floor is where we have various entertainment. So we have the best of African fashion on that particular first floor. And then we have bowling.
Oh, yes. That's the one.
That's the floor.
That's first floor.
That's first floor.
But you go upstairs to go to first floor.
Yes.
And that floor, which
entrance are you using, Eric?
That's okay. Which entrance are you using? I was thinking the one where you find carpets. That's the one with the...
Carpets is lower ground floor.
That's lower ground floor, CT.
The one with flowers.
That's lower
ground floor. The one with flowers is ground floor.
So the one with bowling is the first floor.
Yes, it's the first floor.
So where will these choirs be?
So the choirs will be coming from various parts of the mall.
I see.
Yes.
They come in singing.
They'll come in singing.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So they'll come in singing different Christmas songs.
Okay.
And then they will all lead up to the first floor where the machines will be. And then we'll have the launch that will take place there. And then right after, shoppers will be able to interact with the machines from the 30th of November till the 15th of January 2025.
Are all these machines only on the first floor?
Yes.
Why?
We needed a space, a central place where all these machines could actually be hosted, right? Okay. And the height and the width of the machines, because there are 3 of them, right? So those 3 machines,
that was machine is how tall?
Is as tall as me, maybe 1 meter.
One that can hold a goat.
2 meters, 6 feet, yeah. 6 feet. I mean, it's holding goats, chickens, and beehives.
And beehives.
Yes. So these machines are red in color, so you will not miss them at all. Yes.
Dennis, how do you identify the beneficiaries of this?
Yeah, so the beneficiaries are identified by the 6 NGOs that Kezia talked about. They are usually beneficiaries who are vulnerable. We have those who come from humble backgrounds, who are living in very difficult conditions. Some of them are people who have been displaced, either due to climatic changes, due to war, conflict. Some of them just vulnerable because of poverty. So they'll be identified through rigorous process that these NGOs employ. Yeah.
How many beneficiaries?
So we are talking about 30 items. So in this case, depending with the amount of donation received, we are thinking about over 6,000 beneficiaries. Okay. Yeah. But it depends on the amount of donation. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about this light giving machine. Okay. It's like an ATM.
A vending machine.
A vending machine.
And an ATM is not a vending machine.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I have a good point.
Yeah, it's a cash vending machine.
Yeah.
It's a cash machine. And
the vending machines are like those ones where you find
in the hospital.
You buy
grips
and soda.
Chocolate. Okay, that one.
That one.
Yes.
Okay. So now, if I walk in and I see this red equipment, what will I see on the face of it?
What will you see? Good. Yes. That's a nice question. So what you will see is cards displayed in the giving machine. So you'll see a card written hot meals, or you see a card written beehives with a price tag on the card. So what you do, so depending on what you want to do or what you want to give, you select the card that you want to buy, and then once you select, you put in your payment information. If you are paying by M-Pesa, you pay by M-Pesa. If by card, you swipe your card there, and then the card will drop down at the bottom of the machine. And then now that card, as Kezia mentioned, it will be given to that NGO.
So when it drops down,
where do I take the card once it drops down?
No, so you don't go with the card.
So I can't take it physically?
No, you can't.
Or it just drops down so I can see it as dropped down?
Yes, you can see it as
so somebody else the card collector will come and collect the card later?
Yes.
All right.
Correct.
And that is what will represent what is being distributed?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
In terms of M&E, monitoring and evaluation after the fact, once it's to the hands of the organizations that you mentioned, how do you ensure? Because, I mean, once you've given it to them, right? You've given so many goats, you've given so many vouchers for hot meals, how do you ensure that they actually go to the people? Because once you give it to these organizations, it's out of your hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you ensure that if there were 100 meals, for example, that 100 people actually got a hot meal on whatever day? Or that if there were 15 goats that were supposed to go to 15 different families, how can you ensure goat made its way from here to here? Hygiene materials, whatever the case may be, school fees, that a little boy somewhere in Samburu got school fees for 2025. How will you be able to do that?
Good, nice question. So these NGOs are NGOs that have very strong processes. So all these monies will be audited. So all of them have external auditors that will come and audit the project to make sure that the money was spent as intended. And further to that, the church, we also have a monitoring and evaluation program whereby we'll go and visit the beneficiaries and just see how the donations have actually helped them. And we have done this in the past. So this is not the really first time we're doing this. So we have done it in the past, and we have gone and talked to them, and we have seen the reports that have been submitted to us, and we have strong faith in them that they will actually deliver what the donation is intended to deliver.
That same red machine, does it indicate these non-profit organizations that that will be partnering with you?
Oh yes. So on the card, like let's say we're donating a beehive or a goat.
Okay, let's say beehive.
Yeah.
Is a goat.
So a beehive. Yeah, we're buying a beehive for a family. So beehives in this case will be fulfilled by the NGO called Church World Service.
Okay.
So there will be the image of the beehive there, and then the cost of the beehive, and then the logo of the NGO in this case. So you know that once you're donating that money, it will go to Church World Service, who will go now in turn and buy the beehive or the goat and deliver to the family.
Is it possible for something to come out that tells me that you have donated a beehive courtesy of Church World Service, and this is who Church World Service is, this is where beehives are likely to go? Because I want to know, where will the beehive go? Will the beehive go to Kawangware, or will the beehive go to, where is it gonna?
Okay, in terms of perhaps getting a physical,
just a bit more information, like a card or something that says this particular, tells me more about the NGO and the beehive and why they thought of beehives. Why did this particular NGO called Church World Service think of doing beehives and not cowsheds?
Yeah. So the objective really is to, in as much as we're helping, but we want to help in a sustainable way. So a beehive is a tool. If you give a family, at least they will keep bees, first of all, and then they will get honey. And honey will help them to generate income over a long period of time. And like that, they're able to even expand the enterprise. So really, it's to help communities to become more self-reliant in the case of the beehive. Or even the goat. The goat, they're not given to eat. It's actually, they're given 2 goats, and then they produce, and then over time, it becomes a big herd. And we have seen that in communities.
It can work. And the idea behind it, without a shadow of a doubt, is an excellent one. But what Eric is asking about is, you see, for instance, if I send you M-Pesa, I'll get feedback that I have sent you, and I'll even know it is your name and it is you I'm giving it to. So I've got feedback that you've received it. If my donation is going to Worldwide Church, beekeeping enterprise, or whoever it is it? He's asking, is it possible for somebody to sort of like get feedback and say,
your beehive has reached?
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much for contributing to blah, 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 blah. So that somebody actually knows that their money, that donation has actually been received. Even if it doesn't have a message from the organization, but from your organization, so just an indication. Even if the message is from Sarit Beehive Keeping Organization, at least the giver has been communicated to that they have the gift has been received.
Okay. In this case, because the donations will be received from the public, mass donations, right now the machine does not have configuration, perhaps to give you a token that the donation has actually reached to a particular person, because it's like all this money is being pulled into one basket.
That's true. That's true. But Dennis,
so
am I contributing towards a goat, or am I purchasing a goat? When I press that goat button,
yes,
it's a full goat.
Yes, it's a full goat. Yes,
not a leg of a goat.
Yes,
it's full goat.
Yes.
So then it's clear I'm the one who donated a goat,
and I pay at that point. Do I not?
Yes,
I
you
pay at that point. I don't pay later. I don't come and say, okay, I'm pledging, right? I come and I to the thing, M-Pesa card, whatever, I pay. So you have my number and you have my name, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you do the collation, because I'm just trying to imagine that people just want to know that the goat got where it was going, right?
Good.
You see?
So just to mention, based on past giving initiatives, as what Dennis has said, there's no particular personalized way of making sure that Kezia, who donated a goat, right? This goat has gotten to the Samburu boy who's herding, right? However, these initiatives are actually being documented after the testimonials. So if you go to Church World Services, right now their website, and we're actually going to host some of these NGOs on our own main website, right? www.saritiacity.com. So they have testimonials, and they actually have footage of this number of goats that were brought in from Africa, for example, in Nairobi, went to these particular initiatives, right? And you can see, if you go to Church World Services, their website right now, you can actually see past initiatives and how donations from America, for example, that have actually helped and sustained other families in Kenya and in Africa, yes, based on past initiatives. Yes.
The idea of partnering with trusted agencies is a good one. That gives you the confidence that the donation will get to where it is supposed to go. The point we're trying to make is that acknowledgement, just that acknowledgement that this has been received, and it usually goes a long way.
True.
Yes. Yes. Someone feels okay. They've acknowledged that this thing has actually been received. Now, yes, please, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, there will be definitely an accountability of all this funding and a report given. So, and it will be made public. So you'll be able to know of the amount of money that was contributed, how much really went to these people and where. Yeah.
The thing is also, I mean, I think about the festive period and Christmas and all of that, and we talk about it being it's a celebratory period, but at the same time, it's a time to be able to give the less fortunate and things like that. You know how you walk into the mall sometimes or wherever it is, and somebody gives you a little bit of paper and says, sign here and give us 1,000 shillings or 500 shillings or whatever, and you helping a girl with sanitary packages, or you're helping school fees. You actually never know. You never know if what you are giving has actually made its way there. You look, you don't know.
And you don't do it so that you know.
No, you don't. You're just doing it because it's that time where you think, okay, you know, it's time to it's time to help. It's time to give. There's somebody who is in need, right?
Yeah.
So from this, and we're getting into that period where it is actually, I can see the connection between, you know, punching a button, making a payment, and helping somebody. But what's the overarching message here that we are going after by doing this?
The overarching message really is an invitation to all, really to follow the example that Jesus Christ showed us, to be a light to the world, to reach out and help a fellow brother or a fellow sister to, you know, to have a better life, you know, to lessen suffering that they are going through. And by doing that, both the giver and the receiver are blessed. You know, you feel joy. As I said earlier, really, the objective is not to collect a ton of money. Really, just to give you the opportunity to give and feel good about it. And when you do that, you'll be blessed. You'll feel a good spirit within you. Yeah. So really, the objective really is to do that. And the church, by the way, will cover all the operational costs of running this machine. In terms of the transaction fees and everything else, the church is covering 100%. So all this money will be given, all the money donated will be given to the non-profits. At no extra cost to the giver.
It's a very good initiative.
Yeah.
Why, Sarit? Why did you decide, let's do this?
Why? So, so Sarit was selected among many other malls that we went and visited. And Sarit has been a very good host. We have a very good rapport with them. But really the most important thing is that Sarit is the busiest mall I think in our region, in
Yes,
East Africa.
in Eastern Central Africa.
Yeah, Eastern Central Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here in Kenya, and it's central also.
It's bang in the middle.
Yes, right in the middle. So, and they've been very wonderful host for us.
And then, of course, Eric, we pride ourselves as the premium destination mall in Eastern Central Africa. We're looking at an average of 25,000 visitors that actually come to the mall. We also pride ourselves...
25,000 how often? With what frequency?
Daily.
Every day?
Every day, yes. And we also pride ourselves as the mall where we do initiatives that are very innovative, right? And are connecting to the shopper, right? This being a giving element, right? And this being the giving season, this is the right time for you to go back and say, this is a fun initiative that I can do with my children. It's at Sarit, right? Where we'll have Santa, the elves, the Grinch, and the Rudolph during the festive season, where we'll have choirs. We'll have a shopping experience like no other in Eastern Central Africa, right? And this being the first initiative in Africa, yes, I'm honored and I'm proud to be part of this historical event.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This Santa thing is okay. I like it. But can at least at some point, can he be African?
He is African. Our Santas are African.
No. I mean, beard, the whole... I want a Santa with a black beard.
City, you don't have.
But you don't have black beards.
Santa is your age.
I am not Santa.
Santa is your age.
Our Santa is an African Santa.
When he gets to your age, he will have your kind of beard.
Yes. Our Mrs. Claus is an African Santa. Mrs.
And the elves?
The elves are also African.
Does she also come down the chimney?
No, she doesn't.
No,
Santa is the one who's doing the heavy lifting, yes.
Let the dude do what he's good at doing. Yes.
And then remember, we'll have the Grinch as well as Rudolph. So we have the whole festive initiative taking place at Sari.
Now, that's Rudolph. That's Rudolph. Why can't it be a zebra?
Yeah.
Next Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, it's an African Santa. No, zebra, bro. Zebra is what we have, which is unique.
From the wild that comes that brings the nini.
I'm just saying. But
next Christmas.
But even
a lion.
I mean, surely. But the initiative is appreciated. The innovation is also appreciated.
So this is purely a cash initiative.
Yes.
You're paying. Okay. Is there room for those that would like to donate in kind? There are people who want to donate clothes, food stuff. You want to donate. Is there room for that?
So we've not
Within
made a
this
provision
initiative?
for that. Yes, we've not made provision for that. So this particular initiative is just skewed to what the NGOs have actually brought on board.
Okay.
Right? And it's organized and tailor-made to make sure that each of those NGOs actually deliver what they have actually promised, right? In the giving machines to the shoppers and also back to their communities.
Bless you.
I was about to ask a question. Maybe you want me to ask the question.
No, that question should not be asked at this point in time.
Okay. List the NGOs, please.
So the NGOs that we have on board
is
Kenya Red Cross for all their emergency services, Udhabiti of Kenya for all their healthcare access, UNICEF for child advocacy, Caritas Kenya for humanitarian aid, Church World Service for poverty alleviation, and Clean Up Kenya for environmental protection.
At the Red Cross for all the emergency?
Yes, emergency services.
What does that mean? So what am I going to see you on the machine?
Yeah, so for Red Cross,
buy an ambulance.
Yeah, for Red Cross does many things, but for them, you'll be able to purchase a hot meal, a counseling session, safety training, first aid kits, and also a family food hamper.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What's the lowest amount?
Lowest amount is 400 shillings.
In this, the items here?
Yeah.
Of the 30 items, 400 is the lowest amount?
Is the lowest amount, yes.
And the highest?
Highest is 10,000.
That can be the good. What's that?
Actually, beehive, even goat.
Even the goat is 10K.
Yeah, even goat is 10K.
So 10,000 for goat, 10,000 for beehives. 400 must be the meal.
400 is actually clothing.
It's the clothing.
Yes.
I see.
Meal is 500.
And you can choose many items.
Yes, you can choose many items.
You can go there and choose maybe a meal, sanitary kits, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And top it up with a beehive.
And you can go as many times as you
activity.
want?
Yeah, as many times as you want. We'll have volunteers at the station all the time, and they'll be able to guide you.
Oh, nice. Well, so 30th of November, this Saturday, be on the first floor of Sarit. The first floor. Look for the first floor when you go to Sarit.
Start there.
Get to the first floor of Sarit, and you'll be guided by choir. So there'll be choirs that are singing. From what time will they be singing?
So they'll start singing from 11:45.
From 11:45, choirs will be singing. Follow the choirs. They'll take you to the first floor. They'll take you to these vending machines. No, the machines where the giving machines. This is what will be happening on the first floor. This will be the lounge. Dennis Mukasa, stake president, Nairobi East stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Kezia Kabutu, head of marketing at Sarit. They've been our guests telling us about this very good initiative. It's 8 a.m. Good morning.
Spice up your life.
Moments. Okay.
As Kenya joins the world in marking the start of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence today, a UN report says Africa recorded the highest rates of intimate partner and family-related femicide last year, driven by an increase in killings in countries such as Kenya. According to the report by UN Women, globally, 85,000 women and girls were killed intentionally last year. And in another worrying finding, the report says globally, 140 women and girls die every day at the hands of their partners or close relatives. This means that one woman or girl is killed every 10 minutes. The report says that last year, Africa recorded the highest rates of intimate partner and family-related femicide, followed by the Americas and Oceania. Police say 97 women are known to have been murdered here in Kenya in the last 3 months alone, underscoring the magnitude of the crisis. Just days after the residents of Nairobi's Woodley estate were left homeless after the county government demolished their homes, they've termed the demolition illegal and called on the international community to intervene. Last week, bulldozers smashed through fences and flattened 43 homes following expiry of the vacate deadline at midnight. The Nairobi county government said it had followed due process and it intends to build modern housing in Woodley. But in a letter to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the affected residents have asked the UN to intervene, saying the county government has turned them into refugees.
We have lamented over the years.
Intervention of the Secretary General United Nations through the Kenya Human Rights Commission to inquire the reasons and way the county government intends to resolve this situation, thereby ending refugee status of 1,200 residents.
Kwa hivyo tumewauliza wafanye calculation ya ile vitu yote ambayo ilipotea. Tumewaambia they report to the police ile vitu ambayo ilipotea kwa sababu the whole thing was illegal. Na tumeambia sasa mtu akifanya hivyo kwa sababu ako na nguvu ya office, you go for now for damages. Kuna kitu kingine unaweza fanya.
Mtu yote anataka to alter the story or history of Woodley, it will not be altered. Si mnajua kuna watu wanataka ibadilishwe, iwe history ni mpya.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has announced that he'll form a new political party to unseat President William Ruto. Speaking on Sunday at a church service in Murang'a, Gachagua said he has a big revolution which he'll announce in January next year.
This mountain, next year, the political movement that will start in this mountain, 202 will look like a joke. We shall join other Kenyans to get on the right trajectory and define our destiny. Never again shall any leader take this mountain for granted, and never again shall we ever gabble our vote. Our vote will be well organized, well calculated, well anchored and protected, so that the mountain will never find itself in a very awkward position we find ourselves in.
Gachagua further claimed that he had advised President William Ruto to cancel the Adani deals before his impeachment, but the president ignored him.
Hii maneno ya Adani nilisema ni mbaya. Hata sasa hivi president amesema ni mbaya. Hakukuwa na haja ya kumpigia makofi kwa sababu haikutoka kwa roho yake. Hiyo ilikuwa ni maneno ya Amerika. He only responded after that suspect was indicted in the United States.
President William Ruto scrapped the Adani deals after its founder, Gautam Adani, was indicted by US prosecutors for fraud. Meanwhile, civil society groups are calling for full disclosure of the details surrounding the cancelled agreements. Led by Diana Gichengo, they want action taken against state officers involved in the agreements.
If they do not resign, we call on the president, like he did in June, July, to dismiss those who hold executive offices and powers. And again, if this does not happen, for Parliament to commence impeachment proceedings against especially cabinet secretaries who steered the process of contracting the Adani.
To the conflict in the Middle East now, and Hezbollah says it targeted the Ashdod naval base in southern Israel for the first time. The group further says it conducted an operation against a military target in Tel Aviv using advanced missiles and strike drones. The Israeli military reported air raids sirens in central and northern areas, including the Tel Aviv suburbs. This comes a day after Israel killed at least 29 people in a strike in central Beirut. That's the News Wire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
Patrick Lodge, Otieno Lumumba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
CT Muga, the Bobus. Opposite. Bro, ukisikiliza namna hii unasikia Bobus.
The Situation Room, Spice. The only way to start your day. 102.5 Spice FM, Kisumu.
All right, where are we this morning? Traffic is doing all kinds of things, all knotted up all over the place. James Gishiro, in and outbound is crazy. Crossing over towards Waiyaki Way, coming inbound on the Red Hill Link Road. Lower Kabete going through towards Spring Valley, absolutely busy. All right, and then here's traffic that's coming in from Red Hill Road on the other side, touching on Limuru Road. Traffic is coming in from this other side of Limuru Road, the Village Market, United Nations Avenue, all the way through towards Muthaiga. Crazy. Also, in the city this morning, Kiambu Road, traffic is almost touching on the northern bypass, coming in from the Thika Superhighway, coming in heavy all the way from Githurai, and so that is going to be crazy. Also looking at traffic on Outer Ring, but look at Jogo Road going towards Landis, and then out towards Haile Selassie, inbound traffic from Gong Road, also coming in from Mombasa Road. It's absolute craziness, and it's going to get worse in the next couple of days, as we've been told that that part of Haile Selassie will be closed off for the completion of the pedestrian underpass. So we're going to keep our eyes open for that. Let's talk on SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
If we just gloss over issues and hope that time heals, then we might find that in generations to come, we might be back at the same situation. And the whole thing is born of stolen elections.
Spice.
When it comes to the decisions you make, you must be independent. There's no way you can allow one institution to dictate to you how you're going to conduct your operations, how you're going to decide cases. It's a no.
When you weaken the institution to the point where they cannot take action, then you realize that politicians have to come up and now start dealing with the issues.
That conversation has to die. Our politicians do not like the hard stuff. We must insist on the path of doing things right, whether popular or unpopular.
Money changes hands. That is a fact. If you have political goodwill at the highest top, like in Rwanda, then corruption will be an issue of the past. If you don't have political goodwill at the top, we will pass laws, we will amend laws, we will continue passing laws and re-amending laws, and nothing will happen.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day. This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a happy new year. It's the 25th of November and we are already into that season of going into the new year, into Christmas, into everything. And it's also the season for people are at home, the children are at home.
Yes.
People are already starting to panga their leave. There are offices that are happy and they're lucky that they close you from the 10th of December. We close so what will you be doing at home or wherever you'll be? If you're traveling, if you're going to shags, if you're going somewhere visiting and you're thinking of entertainment and your whole family wants entertainment, and before it used to be, now we are out of home, so because we don't have a TV, so we can't watch. My friend. Nowadays, wherever you are, as long as you have a smartphone, you can watch and you can walk around with your entertainment. And that's why Showmax is like, festive season is here. Worry not. Worry not. From your mobile device, you can catch all the best programming available on Showmax.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For as little as 300 shillings. Really depends on which package you pick. But imagine 300 shillings and you can tune in. You can start to watch the likes of a particular program called Foreplay. It's a drama series that follows 4 men who find friendship, love and perseverance in Nairobi's concrete jungle. Did you know Nairobi is a concrete jungle? Well, there are things that you can also find out about things that go on in Nairobi that you didn't know about if you just log in, or, you had your subscription, or you want to register, you can go ahead and do that. It's Shika Showmax, or rather Shika Nash Showmax today. Log on, pay, watch.
Like that. As you're saying, the new show is called what?
Foreplay.
Spell the word foreplay, please.
Four.
Okay.
PLAY. Are you good?
Oh.
Four. Yani nne.
For nne.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Thank you very much. The 4 men and how they play in Nairobi's concrete jungle. A couple of episodes are already out. You can catch up on the rest. Log on today. Like I said, for as little as 300 shillings. And your entertainment for this period where it feels as though there's 72 days. Sorted.
You are completely sorted. Okay. So we've been talking about education and what's happening in the education sector. And there's a transition into CBC from 844. We already have people who started this thing at grade 3, they are now in grade 8. They're moving into they're moving into grade 9.
Yep.
Yeah. And that is why now we call it a junior school. We stopped calling it the secondary thing.
Yes.
We now it's a comprehensive school. So now it's a junior school. There's one is a what? So the other one is what? The one below the junior school is primary.
It's primary.
So it's primary and then junior school and then senior school.
Yes.
So there's no secondary at all?
No.
They've just told you, senior.
Okay.
Sorry.
What do you think secondary is?
They didn't even let us say goodbye properly.
Aujamaliza secondary? So Aujamaliza senior?
No,
yes.
Senior school.
Then from senior you go to university.
Okay.
Or TVET.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there has been this conversation about the quality of education that's offered in public schools and the quality of education offered in private schools. Let's talk about that, the gaps in this. We have two people who are experts on this education system, the CBC education system. Elphas Omunandi Chisienya is the administrator and curriculum development expert at Kitengela International Schools. And John Wanyonyi is the principal at the Kitengela International Junior School. John, Elphas, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibuni sana to Kenya's biggest conversation. Is Kitengela International School in Kitengela?
Yes, indeed, it's in Kitengela.
Okay.
However, we have other 2 branches along Mombasa Road.
Where on Mombasa Road?
Beijing Road at Syokimau, where we have the Kis Syokimau branch. And the Athi River at the Great Wolves Garden, where we have another branch, the Kis Athi River.
Yes. Now we start calling it KISS.
KISS, K-I-S-C.
Kitengela International School.
Yes.
And the C?
So the main branch is at Kitengela.
Okay. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the junior school. We'll talk about CBC and the transition. First, CT will give you the day's proverb. And today's proverb is from?
The Kingdom of Eswatini. Yes, formerly known as Swaziland.
Remind Wairimu again, the people from Eswatini are called? The Eswatinians. What's the proper?
They're not called Eswatinians. Why don't we ask them if they know what they're called?
Wairimu Wanyonyi, what do you call somebody, a national of Eswatini?
Pardon, please?
Somebody from Eswatini. Though you are Kenyan,
yes,
or Tanzanian,
or Ugandan.
If you're from Eswatini, you call you what?
Latiff, I'm not quite sure. I don't know what to say. Yes, Swazilandian.
All right. At least you made an attempt.
Help us.
Maybe I'll go with the Swatini itself. But I'm not sure.
Okay, they are people called Emaswati.
Emaswati.
Yes. The person is called Liswati.
That's one person.
One, like you are Lee. So
Liswati.
The two of you are Emma.
Emma
Swati.
Okay.
And the language?
Oh, the language is Siswati. Yes. So like Kenyan, the language is Kenyanese.
Yes. That's a good challenge for today.
Yes.
Thank you. Great one.
Okay. Yeah. The proverb.
The antelope that constantly moves. Or no, let me stop paraphrasing and read what it actually says. The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit.
The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit. Wairimu, first, what do you say interpretation of this proverb?
I think it's directly linked to maybe another proverb that goes, a rolling stone possibly gathers no more. Where that is my perspective, based on the fact that if you keep moving from maybe this place, maybe this job to this job, definitely you find that you are not gaining. You lose friends. You lose a lot in terms of accumulation, and at the end, you don't become stable. That's my perspective. Yeah,
it's an excellent perspective.
Very good one. Very good. Wanyonyi?
For me, I want to put it in a perspective that if you are in constant motion, of course, you'll end up somewhere. And for the antelope, the ultimate destination or the ultimate destiny possibly is running into being a pet. Yeah, so in life, once you're in constant motion, there's an ultimate destination that you'll have to learn to. So it just enlightens us to watch out our movements and our steps and be very careful.
Mbio za mbugani huishia shimoni. Mbio za swara huishia shimoni. Okay. So let's get an introduction into Kitengela International School. Mwalimu John Wanyonyi.
Thank you for this moment. John Wanyonyi, the school principal for the junior school, as you said. Kitengela International School is a group of schools offering both the local curriculum and the international. And when we talk of the local curriculum, we have the competency-based curriculum that's running across all our schools. We still have also 844 Kitengela International Girls High School, which are just facing out. We have now 3 classes to go. We also have the British International Curriculum, where we offer the international curriculum from early years all the way to A levels. So that's briefly what Kitengela, the group of schools, entails. As I mentioned earlier, we have got the main school at Kitengela, where we host the 5 campuses. That's the primary section, the junior school, girls' school, and the British International Curriculum. Along Mombasa Road, I mentioned earlier, at Syokimau Beijing Road, we have Kis Athi River, which runs purely the competency-based curriculum, from early years to grade 8, now heading to grade 9. Then at Kisk, at the river, that's the Great Walls Garden. We also have CBC from early years to grade 8.
Mm-hmm. This Kitengela International Girls High School is purely 844?
That's purely 844.
So where does one get into the British curriculum one?
The British curriculum one is both day and mixed.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to transit from the local curriculum to international curriculum, of course, you just have an entry examination where it will be placed accordingly. Yeah, so it depends on the ages and the levels, and also at a time you are joining. Where, for example, now they are having their first term for the international curriculum. Yeah, so if somebody wishes to join the international curriculum from the 844, it will depend if they're in Form 1, they want to join maybe year 8, they'll be able to start from there. Form 2s, maybe it might start from year 9, depending on the entry behavior from the assessment exam they'll be given.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's the one you offer in the British curriculum called? Is it called the Kitengela International British Curriculum School?
It's just called Kitengela International School.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
We are under one umbrella.
I see.
Yes.
And all in that same complex in Kitengela?
Yes.
All right. So now we are seeing the transition from 844 into CBC. Among the things that we've been talking about is, first of all, the challenges initially were, have teachers been properly brought up to skill to deliver CBC? Have the schools had the proper facilities to deliver CBC? Do they have enough space for this? And so on and so forth. I want to come to you, Alphas, because you are an expert on the delivery of this curriculum. What does that mean, you being an expert in delivering of curriculum delivery?
Okay, being an expert in curriculum delivery basically means you interpret the curriculum in collaboration with KICD, and you train the teachers. You ensure that the teachers or the facilitators, we no longer use teachers currently, use facilitators, and their main job, or your main job, is to ensure there is proper acquisition of skills by the facilitators, by proper interpretation of the curriculum, and ensuring that they are able to use the proper pedagogies, the methodologies that are required by the KICD or the Ministry of Education. So that is the key role that I play there, to ensure that the teachers have the requisite skills that are required to implement the curriculum.
Did you go through training yourself or skilling yourself?
Yeah, my first training was in 2016, and I also did another one in 2018. And we have continuous trainings as an institution. I've gone to around 5 to 8 trainings on curriculum implementation under CBC. We have also assisted in also coming up with facilitation materials like textbooks, like the KLB. I aided a little bit from its beginning, that was in 2016, to come up with materials of English. And from there, I think I will say I really learned a lot about CBC, and I'm a champion of CBC. Yeah.
What's the difference then between CBC and 844?
Okay, as CBC as it goes, majorly it is competency-based curriculum. So this one goes with the abilities or the competencies a learner is having. So we measure on ensuring that we identify the competencies early. And like 844, we never went for competencies. We were like targeting just one element. How well can someone remember? And that was risky, because we may say some of individuals out here, their lives might not be the same if their talents or their competencies were identified in time and nurtured as the CBC is doing. And I think CBC is the way to go. Yeah.
So what is it about the CBC that enables you to understand the competencies that you say with the 844 system one could not understand, measure?
Okay, with CBC, the approach is different because first we understand that there is a fish, there is a lion, there is a grasshopper. All these are creatures, and they cannot compete on the same basis. Like a fish, you cannot put a fish in a field and a vehicle and Mr. Latiff to have the same competition and win, because they can thrive in different environments. So based on that, we notice that learners also have different abilities in different environments. There is this learner who will never sit down and listen, but when you take them to the field, you will see them delivering or being able to play that game and score goals, and is happy because that is their passion. Unlike 844, it was like one band radio where it is just one way. You either you know it or you don't know it.
Okay, but how exactly does this work out? I mean, you have regular class sessions, don't you?
You do.
Are they still 40 minutes? Are they
35 for primary, 40 for junior school.
Okay, so what is it that you do to ensure that you can identify these competencies and then follow the pathways that you mentioned that the CBC offers?
Thank you. In the curriculum designs, or in the previous one, curriculum, they used to call it syllabuses. In the curriculum designs, we have what we call authentic tasks. Authentic tasks are like projects that are geared towards ensuring that learners realize their competencies, and they are done in levels. So you'll find in levels, there are authentic tasks that are given that go in line with the age of the learner or the level of the learner. And you will notice that in CBC, we have the aspect of inclusivity, where the learners who are perceived in the past that they were special, they weren't special because they just had a different way of viewing things. And in one way or another, I always say maybe they might be thinking we are the ones who are not, we are special. So to them, we just call them gifted differently. And you realize that with the authentic tasks, if that learner was having a challenge in getting the concept in class, that one of one-on-one, is able to execute an activity on a table and get it right, unlike the concept that was being given in class theoretically. So you notice that is the way you will notice this learner is different from this one. Another one is we have so many activities, like in my school, Kitengela International School, we have so many clubs. We have a lot of activities that we engage our learners. We ensure that we adjust our timetable to ensure that we accommodate all the aspects of activities, so that all the learners, at least out of over 2,000 learners, one has a place to feel at home. And that one categorically puts us on a map, ensuring that CBC is well implemented and is the best way to go.
How then will the physical structures within a school setting accommodate this? Because so far we're discussing the mental preparedness of, I was about to say teachers, facilitators. We'll get back to that one. But so what is it about the physical structures that you have that then makes it possible to achieve? Because the goals of CBC are fairly lofty. Okay, you want to understand these competencies, whether the child is good at cooking onions, whether it is that they're good at running, whatever it is. What is it that the school will have that enables this to happen?
Yeah, thank you for that. We, as an institution, we have really ensured that we come up with the facilities that are required, the modern labs, the modern libraries, the modern swimming pools, modern pitches or fields, courts. And I've also checked the government schools, the public sector. They are doing great also. And the government is really pumping resources in ensuring that these learners have spaces that are really free. These learners are not just classroom based. They are out there in the pitches playing. They are out there doing projects. They are out there on the markets doing authentic tasks by the Kenya National Examination Council guides. And to me, I'll see that with the collaboration with the public sector, we have ensured that we invite them in our institution to check how this is done.
Sorry, can you give me some of these examples? Some examples of some of these tasks that learners, for example, are doing outside of the classroom that's being facilitated by Ministry of Education, for example?
Okay, there is what we call community service learning. And under community service learning is an umbrella, which is very huge. And in this one, the Ministry of Education, together with the Kenya National Examination Council, will actually give a task in relation to maybe this year, there will be a theme, maybe cleaning the market. Or maybe this year, there will be a theme like visiting social places to maybe to the hospitals and see and maybe pray to them or take resources to them or just encourage them to be strong. So these tasks are given with a guide by the Kenya National Examination Council, guided by the KICD and the Ministry of Education.
But they're carried out by the individual schools. So a class, for example, a class teacher will tell you that this week you're going to have an excursion to an agricultural farm or something like that.
Yes.
You also mentioned that the Ministry of Education is facilitating this. But I'm imagining that we have quite a number of schools in the country, and we can look at it from a Kitengela International School perspective, where it's a private facility. But then there are public facilities in the country which unfortunately are not at the moment equipped with what they need. So if one school can go to an agricultural farm, for example, on excursion because they have a bus, there are other schools that cannot because resources just don't allow. Yes?
Yeah.
How do we then say that we are creating a balance around the country to have one seamless line of education where we have such huge disparities between institutions?
Yeah, since the introduction of CBC, I'll say we have had a few challenges here and there. But I think the government is trying to put resources in ensuring what you are asking is implemented. So to go back to your question.
I'm sorry.
Okay, to go back to your question. Sorry on this one. Allow me to explain.
Please.
Yeah, so to go back to your question, we might say disparities there. And remember, also in private sector, we have challenges because there was no budget that was just meant to improve these facilities. This is just, we didn't increase school fees to make these facilities there. It is that's something that we had to reinvest with the little that we had. Therefore, the government is also doing the same. It's just that maybe the officials on the ground or the people not giving their best. But I'll thank the government because I normally move in private schools, public schools, and you see that disparity is there. But what we always say, as the late Magoha used to quote, let us use locally available resources. So for that farm, we don't need to travel to Kiambu in a farm. Let's move to a nearby farm that is there, that's Kumawiki farm, and get the facts right. Let's move closer where we can actually access, and that is what makes the difference. So the moment the society understands that this is an inclusive kind of curriculum, it's not about the teacher and the learner, it's about the whole society, the parent, the three pillars, the parent, the school, and the learner. Therefore, I know that disparity is there, but the government, I know it is giving its best based on the schools I've visited. We might have one or two that are extreme cases, like maybe there is a school in Turkana.
I think there are a little bit more than one or two extreme cases where there's a problem.
Maybe just to correct some wrong notion, you see both of you heading to. There's this wrong notion that private schools are well off in terms of implementation of the curriculum. The truth is, there's a balance. Not all private schools are capable to have that space.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, when you talk of Kitengela International School, don't just imagine that all private schools are like that. And ironically, public schools have got better resources to implement the authentic tasks because they have got free government land for that particular school. As opposed to many private schools which have
nothing.
They have nothing. They have no land. They are so squeezed. Then now, when you talk of maybe accessing some agricultural shows or agriculture projects, every region and every county has got an agricultural show, well developed, where public school children are given free access. They don't pay anything. Secondly, that land, they are free to partition it and do all the practicals that they are given and all the tasks. So basically, when you look at what the government has done, even in digital literacy, in the integration of the ICT, shockingly, over 80% of public schools, both primary and secondary, have got electricity. At least they can access a computer. So maybe something we can say they are still struggling with is access to internet. But as we speak, generally, the government has invested heavily in those public schools. And remember, they are being facilitated by the government. As opposed to private schools like Kitengela International School, they have got to struggle to put up such a kind of a service. Because you can't ask parents to build for you or buy for you an extra land. Yeah. So there is a balance, at least we can see. So we can't say that totally public schools are struggling completely, no. There's exceptionals that are in extreme. We also have the same in private sector, where we have got some private schools which are also struggling.
Which really struggle.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, the proprietors don't have much wiggle room.
Yeah, they don't
even financially.
Yeah.
But they have to continue offering a service. 24 minutes to 9. Let's take a break. John Wanyonyi, Principal, Kitengela International Junior School, and Elphas Omunandi Chisienya, who is the Administrator and Curriculum Development Expert at the same Kitengela International Schools. We are talking about CBC transition, the gap between public and private, and that's a good way to start that conversation. I mean, where are we? We know when you talk about private schools, people talk about private schools from a top-end private school perspective. And people talk about public school, then they talk about public school from the lower-end perspective. But then there are those that have seriously good public schools. Facilitated over the many years, and they are actually top level. And there are some seriously good private schools, and some others that are not seriously good private schools, where it's just a shack, like a small place that is just offering a service because this is what the community is looking for. Ndu, as we take this break, let's talk about the long Christmas break and the holiday season and entertainment, courtesy of Showmax.
What are you going to be doing this holiday? A lot of people are going to be holed up inside and saying, okay, well, it's been a long year of working and being in school, so what can you do? Your entertainment comes to your doorstep. Log on to www.showmax.com, sign up, register, pay, watch, and enjoy. So the two shows that you can take advantage of right now, they've actually premiered on Showmax. One of them is called Foreplay, and it talks about the lives of four gentlemen as they traverse relationships and friendships and business in Nairobi's concrete jungle. And the other one is called Black and Blue. It's actually really interesting to watch and see the intrigues that go on between police officers. It's different police stations around the city, and seeing how they, from a policeman's perspective, how they actually view life. These are airing on Showmax. A couple of episodes already shown. You can continue with that. Log on for as little as 300 shillings and have this entertainment literally at your fingertips, whether you're indoors or whether you're on the road. Shika na Showmax.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Want to build wealth that lasts? Join me, Ndu, alongside CT and Eric on the Situation Room every weekday for more information, and every Wednesday as we chat with experts from Standard Chartered Priority Banking, where you'll get a guide on how to grow your wealth today, tomorrow, and forever, with investment options in Kenya shillings, US dollars, British pounds, and euro. Don't miss out. Get expert insight and take that first step by emailing prioritybanking.ke@sc.com. Achieve your goals with Standard Chartered's expertise.
SpiceFM, Nakuru. The weather with SpiceFM.
Cloudy conditions in Nairobi this morning, 18 degrees. We'll see highs of 22, highs of 24 in a partly sunny Nakuru. And after the morning rain, it's now cloudy in Nyeri, going to highs of 23 and lows of 14. 17 and cloudy in Eldoret with highs of 22 and lows of 14. Then it's partly sunny at 28 in Mombasa with highs of 32 and highs of 32 as well in a sunny Malindi at 29. It's 21 and cloudy in Kisumu with highs of 26 and lows of 19, while Kakamega at 19 is cloudy with highs of 25 and lows of of 16. The rain continues in Kampala at 18 with highs of 25, and it's partly sunny at 28 in Dar es Salaam with highs of 32. Cloudy at 19 in Johannesburg, going to highs of 29, and it's 30 and sunny in Mogadishu with highs of 32 and highs of 23 and lows of 8 in a sunny Addis Ababa, currently at 16. Clear in Lagos at 25 with highs of 33, and we'll see highs of 31 in a mostly cloudy Kinshasa at 25.
Welcome to Spice FM, the best exclusive radio station bringing you the best mix of the best music ever.
All right, so Monday morning is a bit chaotic in these Nairobi streets. We're looking at a little bit of reduction on that traffic on Haile Selassie in and outbound, but there's also traffic coming in from Gong Road. It's going to find its way right around that area where this construction is continuing, and so it's busy coming off of Jogo Road going towards Landis, coming off of Mombasa Road, crossing over towards the Lusaka Road and Langata Road connection. There's traffic. It's heavy going towards Uhuru Highway. Looks like it's going to be that way for most parts of the morning. Also coming in from the Thika Superhighway onto Muranga Road, going towards the Globe Cinema roundabout. Quite some traffic here. General Waroyingi Road now touching on Ring Road Ngara. Traffic coming in from Landis is not doing anybody a favor this morning. That is for sure. All right, Kiambu Road, crazy traffic already going towards the crossover for the Northern Bypass, and that's going in well into that whole area. And also United Nations Avenue, Thigiri Ridge, coming in from Ruaka, Red Hill, all of this, absolute mess. I don't know what happened. Folks took a break on Friday and came into crazy traffic Monday. Let's talk and try to keep things moving. SpiceFM, KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
19 minutes to 9. Our conversation continues about CBC transition, the gap between public and private. John Wanyonyi, Principal, Kitengela International Junior School, and Elphas Omunandi Chisienye, Administrator and Curriculum Development Expert from the Kitengela International Schools. They are our guests this morning.
When we talk about the gap between public and private schools in the country, what is the gap?
Firstly, the glaring gap is the population of school-going children against the available public schools.
Okay.
It's overwhelming. So the private schools come in to bridge that gap, to offer quality education to the many students who might not be able to reach that public school that is overcrowded. So we bridge in and come in to partner with the government to offer an alternative.
Yeah.
So that we don't have everybody going to crowded in a public school.
So in an area where within a 15-kilometer radius, for example, whereby there should be a certain number of public schools, what we're saying is that that number doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And in order to take care of the children within that community, at least to make sure that they're in school, that's where we see now the introduction of private schools to say, okay, this cannot continue because there will be too many children out of school because they cannot all access one public school.
Yes.
Okay.
The second gap, as you mentioned earlier before we went for a break, that we have got those first-tier schools which perform very well and they offer quality education. They offer quality opportunities. Now, the private schools also come in to offer the best quality education that many parents would want to give their children, so that we help in increasing the number of best schools in the country. So, and when we do that, we do not necessarily compete the existing schools, but we collaborate and work towards the same goal. Then the third gap that private schools come to fill is now going an extra mile in creating opportunities for the school-going children to be able to explore other disciplines beyond classroom, so that they can be able to engage. Because we look at the CBC, the main objective is to bring up an ethical and engaged child who can be able to be all round, to call it a holistic education. So if you look at the public schools in many regions, they might not be able to access the international space. Now, the private schools like Kitengela International School will give the parents an opportunity for the children to explore the world, to be able to engage with other countries and see how things happen, compete, to realize they are also equal to the task. So if they hear about Finland succeeding in CBC, it's not just it's history, the way they you kept learning in all those old days.
Yeah.
You are just told there is a town somewhere. Now, in private schools, we are able to give them an opportunity to interact and collaborate and have a discussion, have challenges and competitions with those students across the world from those other countries they hear of.
How are you able to do that?
Yeah, because we are able to participate in international programs and activities. Like now, for example, the recent one is the World Scholars Cup, where we have got great debaters and scholarly writings. So we have students who came from all over the world, Kitengela International being one of them, taking a group of 30 students to compete at the global rounds in Bangkok, Thailand. From there, they succeeded. They've proceeded all the way to the United States of America for the Tournament of Champions. So they're able to meet other counterparts from different schools. And I can tell you for sure, even in the United States, we had public schools. However, they were secondary schools, but at least I was able to interact with a number of 3-4 schools from the public.
There's some kids from Kitengela who went to America for the...
Yes. We had 30 students who qualified for the Tournament of Champions, and they went to participate. They just came in. They came back yesterday.
How did they do?
Yeah, most of them won the gold medals.
Hey.
They are competitive. Yeah, they are very bright.
So why are public schools not able to do this?
Scarcity of resources.
Which?
When it comes to public schools, the government has the mandate of providing the basic education. So when it comes to those extras, it will now call for the parent to chip in to be able to finance and facilitate.
Isn't it the same case for private? I mean, I don't assume that the owner of a private school is one who's paying out of their pocket for children to go to Bangkok.
And that's why I've mentioned few public schools were there. That means the few who can afford are able to do that. But not all of them can afford.
Why do you think that government, and I think this is for both of you, who we must not run away from the reality that it is not a favor that government does in providing education. They are mandated to provide the system and all the fillings that would then ensure that education is delivered to the nation's children. It's their job.
Yes.
Right? Why do you think then that it is not possible, because that's the reality, that it is then not possible for that mandate to be fulfilled in its entirety? We have places where it's fulfilled, it's done well. If you have a very good school head, for example, you'll find that that particular school, whether there are government challenges with moving money or curriculum challenges, by and large, the school is going to get ahead. We have many examples of those, and they're in the public system. And we have a budget, largest budget item is education.
Yes.
And still we say that there are still gaps. And I'm going to compare it to Rwanda, and please don't tell me I shouldn't, because it's the principle that matters, not the size of country. It is the principle, where in Rwanda as of 2023 we saw private schools shutting down. Why? Because the public system became so efficient that people removed their children from private school and put them back into the public system. And so private business owners said, you know what? We cannot survive anymore. Why would we? What is it? A lack of resources? Is it a lack of discipline? What is it that would say that you can turn around something in 5 short years, but then here where you have a lot big ticket budget item, but we're still not able to deliver so much, so that private schools have to come and fill in? Why is that?
Okay, to come in on that one, first of all, we'll check on the processes or the processes of that the government go through, or the people are involved in ensuring that these resources come on top and trickle down without wastage up to the last person. And you will notice that there is a lot of a little bit discrepancies or the issues that come up with the processes, procurement. Everybody will feel I should eat or take something from here and need pass the next one to this one. This one will take a half of it. And at the moment it reaches that teacher, that facilitator in class, in one way or another, that resource is depleted and it's not useful anymore. So you will check that apart from that, the government should also, I will say, they are trying in many cases on retooling, that what you call training of the current staff, where things used to be done maybe in an analog way, and now retool these administrators or facilitators with the current skills or the modern 21st century skills to ensure that they know how to utilize resources digitally in the digital world. So you will find there is a gap there in terms of knowledge or how to utilize resources and also set priorities. So if priorities are not set right, like in most institutions in Kenya, you find that school is not performing and there is complaints all over. So you notice that principal who is ready to come up with the 21st century skills and initiate and train the staff, those schools are definitely performing. And I can quote one. There's a school called Utumishi along Emali. That school is like, if you get there, you think it's a private school. And it is because of management and administration.
Yes.
Yeah. Therefore, if the government will really work on integrity and training of the and selection of principals and officials of schools or education sector that are authentic, we are headed places as a country. Yeah.
It is strange in that we talk of Rwanda and what they've done, and yet in an earlier time, now I'm speaking of a time when I was a student, the schools of choice were public schools.
Yeah.
There were private schools, but there were really very few.
Very few.
Sure.
Very, very few. The United States that you went to, you will compare that. If you look at statistics, in 2023, there are 49 million students in public schools and just 4 million in private. I mean, the public school, and even if you look at in terms of facilities, in terms of what the public schools have, the public schools in many instances are a school of choice.
Yes.
People prefer to go to the public schools. Now, in our case here, the option for private schools is because there is a feeling, and it keeps growing, that the public schools, despite their best efforts, cannot offer the sort of education that parents would like.
And that those that would are already full to the brim.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the parents vote with their feet because, and that is why a school like Kitengela International is what it is, because parents are voting with their feet. They look and they look, what do I want for my child? They figure, because there are public schools near where your schools are at.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe just to paint a different picture to that knowledge is, one of the reasons why I think the government is getting a lot of pressure not up to the task. I think basically, apart from misplaced priorities and maybe some leadership gaps, the pressure of population, the way it has been growing in Kenya, it is like overwhelming the government, because the number of school-going children increases exponentially every coming year.
Is it something that the government suddenly finds has surprised them in the morning?
It's not a shock.
Or is it something that they can see is happening before their very eyes?
You have entire planning departments who give you these statistics on a rolling basis, and one would assume that it is that information that you then use to make a decision. One would assume, I could be wrong, but one would think that because you have departments like that, you take the information that they give you
and you use it.
Use it.
Where are you going with this?
Sorry?
Where are you going with this? So let's continue. So the government is overwhelmed.
It's overwhelmed
by the numbers.
By the numbers,
right?
But now, the way you are putting it, I was almost heading there.
Okay, please. I'm sorry.
Consistency, consistency in any regime matters a lot.
Okay.
in Kenya we lack consistency. Because every day we get a policy maker in a docket that concerns education. They come with their mindset. And remember, KICD and NEC and any other party involved in making policies that design the curriculum and implementation, for them, they will do their work. They will wait for funding.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? As they wait for funding, if they are not funded, what happens?
Their work moves nowhere.
Yeah. So it will mean there's a delay, but doesn't mean that it has stopped.
Yeah.
So it's a delayed. The moment they delay, the population doubles. The second challenge that is making private schools to be more, and I will use examples in terms of region balance. For example, in Kitengela some 10 years ago was like a bush.
No, it was not like a bush. It was a bush.
Yes. So, to date, when you go and count public schools, there are very few.
Yeah.
Very few.
Population has moved there, the government has not.
So the population moved there, and the government
stayed where it was before.
Yes. So they were running when already the population is there. Now, when you look at regions like Western, private schools are very few.
Yes.
And the best performing schools in Western are public schools.
Yes.
Go to Nyanza, same case.
Yes.
Go to other regions that are well developed. Go to Nakuru, for example. We have got equally best public schools that are competing seriously. So the private schools came in to bridge the gap in the areas that the population came in before the government could realize. And that's why you realize when they were coming to change again the curriculum, in curriculum reforms, they began something new that needed a lot of capitation.
You know, Mwalimu, you're a kind man. And you're thoughtful and thoughtful about your government. The data that the Kenya Bureau of Statistics gathers about everything that we do even gives them information about where people are moving to and how they're moving and the numbers, and they can project. If you have factories coming up in a particular area, the population is going to grow because as people work there, they'll want to also reside there.
Yes.
Okay? Again, if one school comes up, because part of the requirements that the building codes have is when you put up, say, a certain development, say you build houses, part of that development includes schools, even if it's just kindergarten, includes a health facility. These are things which are planned for. I started early on by saying in a time when I was in school, why it was the complete opposite is, I find it daunting that over the years we have rolled back instead of moving forward.
Yes.
Because the thing that we had, which worked well within the public sector, it's the same with the health sector. Okay? And the question is, education, is it devolved?
Nope.
Okay. It's not devolved. So the people who make those decisions, you think they change very much?
Yeah, they don't change very much.
Yes, and the people who actually supposedly implement, do you think they change very much? No, they don't. Because every time you hear of an issue within the education sector, it involves huge amounts of money that have gone where they shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Sure.
See? Now, all those things represent that development which should have gone to the public, which doesn't get to the public. And it's year in and it's year out.
True.
Yes.
So, for example, now Kitengela International has invested in 3 schools that are offering junior.
Yes,
right?
3 schools are offering junior secondary.
3 schools offering junior.
Yes.
And this is because of a growing demand.
Yes.
Because people are looking for quality education for their children, right? So, as a conclusion, again, where are those 3 schools? The main one?
The main one is based in Kitengela, just 5 kilometers from Kitengela town. The second one is at Syokimau, Beijing Road, Syokimau branch. Then Great Walls Garden in Athi River, like is Athi River branch.
And you're the principal of all those 3?
I'm the principal at the main school.
You're the Oga at the main school?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. John Wanyonyi is the school principal, Kitengela International Junior School. Elphas Omunandi Chisienya is the administrator and curriculum development expert. Now you cut across all.
Yeah.
It's quality. You're the quality assurance person.
Yeah, I work.
Making sure that not the teachers, they're called who?
Facilitators.
Are well equipped with all the knowledge and skill to deliver this quality education to all the children.
Sure.
Asanteni sana for joining us. Keep it here for more conversations coming up in the next hour. Ndu, again, you're saying this weekend, this holiday season, 300 shillings is what you need.
Exactly.
And you get Showmax on your mobile device.
Indeed.
And you can watch like Foreplay.
And Black and Blue.
Black and Blue is about cops.
Black and Blue is about cops.
Kenyan cops.
Kenyan cops.
Right.
It's actually quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You should.
You should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So in the next hour, we are going to talk about presidential campaigns. So there is one gentleman who has decided to put it in a gazette notice. Presidential Exploratory Committee.
Yes.
This guy has taken us on. Have you ever had anything like that?
Well, I'm hearing it for the first time.
Andrew Okia Omtata Okoiti is our next guest for the next hour. Keep it here for more. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. The Situation Room. It's 9 a.m. Time for the news.
Spice up your life.
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has reiterated the government's commitment to addressing the challenges facing Kenyans. Speaking in Trans Nzoia County, Wetangula called on Catholic bishops to soften their stance on the government days after Nairobi Catholic Church rejected the president's donation.
Ile changamoto tulikuwa nayo inaenda kupunguka. If you look at the macroeconomics of Kenya, uchumi umeanza kuinuka polepole na pesa itapatikana ya kutengeneza hizo. When you have a problem, don't look for who to blame, look for a solution. Because the duty of the government is to make sure people live comfortably, incrementally, day by day. Hata kanisa langu la Katoliki, bishops wetu walitoa hisia kali sana juzi. Na mimi nawaomba tuketi tuongee. The church cannot do without government. Government cannot do without the church. We must coexist.
Wetangula further defended President Ruto's so-called broad-based government, saying it will work for all Kenyans.
Sasa tuko na broad-based government. Hata hawa watu ya Azimio wenye wanapiga kelele hapa. Azimio iko kwa serikali. Mzee Raila tunampeleka AU, ameleta Opiyo Wandayi, ameleta John Badi, ameleta Hassan Joho, ameleta Mama School, Oparanya, wako kwa serikali. Tunakaa nao tunapanga mambo pamoja. Kwa sababu Rais Ruto anaelewa ya kwamba Kenya is not for one half against the other half. Kenya is for all of us. Na mimi naomba muombe rais wetu aendelee kupambana na shida za nchi. Hii nchi, it needs a man with tenacity, courage and vision to lead.
The National Job Recruitment Program in Nakuru County is being held today at the Rift Valley National Polytechnic. This comes after successful recruitments in Machakos, Makueni and Kitui counties. Labour CS Alfred Mutua said they've secured over 1,000 job opportunities for Nakuru residents in foreign countries, including Australia, Qatar, Poland, Dubai, Saudi Arabia and Germany. Mutua directed the applicants to carry their national IDs, relevant academic certificates, updated CV and passport if available. Just days after the residents of Nairobi's Woodley estate were left homeless after the county government demolished their homes, they've termed the demolition illegal and called on the international community to intervene. Last week, bulldozers smashed through fences and flattened 43 homes following expiry of the vacate deadline at midnight. The Nairobi County government said it had followed due process and it intends to build modern housing in Woodley. But in a letter to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the affected residents have asked the UN to intervene, saying the county government has turned them into refugees.
We have lamented over the years.
Intervention of the Secretary General of the United Nations through the Kenya Human Rights Commission to inquire the reasons and way the county government intends to resolve this situation, thereby ending refugee status of 1,200 residents.
Kwa hivyo tumewauliza wafanye calculation ya ile vitu yote ambayo ilipotea. Tumewaambia the report to the police ile vitu ambayo ilipotea kwa sababu the whole thing was illegal. Na tumeambia sasa mtu akifanya hivyo kwa sababu ako na nguvu ya office, you go for now for damage damages. Kuna kitu kingine unaweza fanya.
Mtu yoyote anataka to alter the story or history of Woodley, it will not be altered. Si mnajua kuna watu wanataka ibadilishwe. Iwe history ni mpya.
The number of children recruited by armed groups in Haiti has jumped by 70% in the past year, according to the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF. UNICEF says children make up almost half of gang membership in Haiti. The organization says the unprecedented spike registered between the second quarters of 2023 and 2024 points to a worsening protection crisis for children in the violence-plagued Caribbean nation. Haiti has suffered from decades of political instability, but in recent months it has seen a surge in violence, with gangs now controlling 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. That's the News Wire. I'm Edwin Lisamir.
.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
It is an extremely busy Monday morning. Let's take a quick look at what's happening now. Slight reduction of traffic coming off of Thika Superhighway, and so it's now contained towards Sigei and then towards the Pangani underpass. All right, there. Muthaiga coming in from Limuru Road, Thigiri Ridge, this whole area. We look down towards Kitisuru Road and also Lower Kabete going towards Spring Valley. Crazy. The traffic on James Gishuru is no joke today. There's inbound traffic, which today is significantly worse than most outgoing traffic. Lower Kabete is also contributing to that just a little bit. The Red Hill Link Road, absolute mess. Then Mzima Springs out towards that Lavington area, not too bad. Kingara Road, very busy. Ngong Road is busier still. There's traffic then also coming in from Mombasa Road through towards Uhuru Highway. This one is going to be here for some time today. Also, in a couple of days, they're going to shut it all down as they continue with that pedestrian underpass, so you have to watch out for that. Likoni Road crossing over Enterprise, also that is crazy today. Let's see what happens as we come out of traffic hour in about half hour or so. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your
7
day.
minutes after 9. How are you? Welcome to the final hour of The Situation Room. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. We're always glad that you are tuned in, always happy that you're here with us every single day from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. live on SpiceFM, on KTN, on YouTube and Facebook and X and TikTok and Radio Garden, everywhere. Conversations happen live and they continue happening even long after we have finished with that conversation. So you will find all our recordings on YouTube. If you just go to SpiceFM, that's the channel, just go search SpiceFM, you will find the recordings for each and every day's conversation. You can also find them on YouTube, right? And we are glad that every time we have these conversations, people share them and people enjoy them. So, Ndu, now getting into the final hour of the show, but we have to continuously start thinking about, money and building wealth. Money building wealth. And there's one bank that has been voted many times over as the best bank when it comes to private banking. And what is private banking? We've asked ourselves before. What is private banking?
What basically is that, nobody has to know, you don't have to be in the hall waiting with 1,000 other people, that when it comes to the things that you want to be able to do, how you want to grow your wealth, what you want to invest in, that you can have that within the confines of your mind and that of what they are calling a world-renowned or world-class financial advisor. So it's your business with somebody else and not just everybody getting getting into it. So there are ways in which you can bank wisely. There are ways in which you can leave a legacy. There are ways in which you can live joyfully, and you can also plan wisely. And this is with Stanbic Bank. It's Kenya's #1 private bank, making sure that everything you do with growing, creating and managing your wealth is actually done in a way that you would be able to benefit from in the future.
Very good. Today is Monday. It's the first of 5 days, and at the end of the 5 days, we give away 25,000 shillings to one person into their Stanbic Bank account. What do they need to do?
They need to tell us how they're going to engage around those 4 principles of banking, living, investing, and living a legacy. Tell us how you do that with your Stanbic account, or how you plan to do that should you open a Stanbic account. But then you need to do that before Friday. Let us know then how you plan to do that, and you could win 25,000 shillings into your account this weekend.
Yes. So today is the 25th of November. Friday was the 22nd of November, and as we always know, on Fridays the Kenya Gazette is published. And on this one, the Gazette notice number 15372, we had one special announcement. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, pursuant to Article 129, as read together with Article 138 and 138 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, it is notified for the information of the general public that Andrew Okiya Omtata Okoiti, the Senator of the Republic of Kenya, elected by the great people of Busia County, has established a presidential exploratory committee. The committee's primary objective is to gather, analyze, evaluate, and act on information on the viability of the Senator's presidential bid for the August 2027 general election. Hey, I've never heard of anything. I have been there during very many presidential campaigns, never seen anything like this. But the Senator is here. Senator, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
You've
taken us very far, Bwana. Is this thing in the Constitution of Kenya really that you have put? In fact, we'll open it at the Article 129, right together with Article 138. We'll talk about that, but welcome. Siti, did you know that you can form a presidential, not working party on education, but a presidential exploratory committee?
Yeah, no, task forces.
Task forces.
Yeah, this one is new.
Hey.
But that's a good thing. By the end of this conversation, I'll be thoroughly informed.
Welcome to the modern era.
This is it, eh?
Yeah.
This is a modern Kenya.
Yeah, the new republic has arrived.
Let's go to the kingdom, not the republic, of Eswatini.
Yes. And the proverb. The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit.
The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit. Senator, what's your interpretation of this proverb?
Well, there's consequences to actions. Yeah, for every action there's a consequence. So basically they're saying that in less colorful words, somebody told us one time that choices have consequences. So the land is never even. So if you are constantly moving, first of all, you have got no purpose. You are directionless. Yeah, you have no goal. And so basically, if you choose to have no goal in life, you end up in failure.
So this is constantly moving. To you here, you interpret it as just loitering, roaming about.
It's not even grazing.
Not even grazing.
The Swahili phrase manga manga.
Kumanga manga kutanga tanga. It's like what the devil was doing by the time he came back, and God asked him, "Hey, where have you been? You're sweating, you're panting." Did you see my good man called who? Job. Like, that guy, leave him alone. You favor him all the time. What would you like to tempt him? Then he faced it. I am opening Chapter 9 of the Constitution of Kenya, Principles and Structures of the National Executive. Article 129 has many things. It's the principles of executive authority. Executive authority derives from the people of Kenya and shall be exercised in accordance with this Constitution. Executive authority shall be exercised in a manner compatible with the principle of service to the people of Kenya and for their well-being and benefit. Now let's read that one together with Article 138. I'm going to scroll down. 138. Procedure of a presidential election. If only one candidate for president is nominated, that candidate shall be declared elected. If two or more are nominated, an election shall be held in each constituency. In a presidential election, all persons registered as voters for the purposes of parliamentary elections are entitled to vote. The poll shall be taken by secret ballot, and after counting the votes in the polling stations, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission shall tally and verify the count and declare the result. So basically, this is giving us the procedure for electing a president. So we are looking at the principles of executive authority and the way to
acquire it.
Yes. And you're saying that using those two, you have formed a presidential exploratory committee.
Yes.
Now that one is nowhere in the Constitution.
So
what's that? What's that one?
That one is a process. The environment calls for me to stand for president. And I said I'm a realist. Let me give it some people who are detached from me to give me an objective opinion on the viability of the calls that are coming. So it has been a process, and I also believe that the country needs to be put back on the rails. Yeah. Today, when you sing the national anthem of Kenya, you are singing about a different country. If you listen to the words, you are not describing this country. You are talking about a country that doesn't exist. And so we want to get back and sing that national anthem so that it can resonate with the reality on the ground.
Okay. So, Senator, I have to ask you, is it an inherent desire that you have to be president of Kenya? Or is it because the different ideas that have floated to you from different quarters, and I'm sure that they have been numerous, to say do this because of how we have seen you have operated over the last few years, and they said, okay, well, these guys might have a point, let me try. Which is it?
Well, my inherent desire, and the biggest desire I have, is to be a good citizen. Now, that good citizen requires good service. And my drive is to see that this country provides service that the citizens of this country deserve. And so I've always taken on a challenge whenever I've been. And even some of my biggest achievements were on very small challenges, like when we had the Butere girls being banned from doing a play. I didn't just sit in Nairobi. I took it up, and I made sure those guys went to court, got very good orders from Justice Majanja, the late. May the Lord rest his soul in peace. And the kids were able to go to Mombasa and perform. And the reason was I believe in freedom of expression. And so, when it comes to what needs to be done, right now I'm seeing that the challenge this country is facing, just like the small thing that Butere was having, was bad governance. So right now, there's total state capture in this country, and it calls on each one of us to do what we can to achieve that. I've tried in the courts, and what moved me the other day to realize that this thing maybe cannot be won within the courts was the judgment the Supreme Court gave the other day, where the Constitution says very clearly that the budget should have estimates of revenue and estimates of expenditure. High Court agreed, Court of Appeal agrees, Supreme Court says no. Supreme Court decides to write a judgment that basically says your constitution is just a piece of paper. And when I began interrogating it, I looked at the Supreme Court Act, and I found that through some mischief, Parliament had given it the power that we can consider political whatever, consider whatever. Yet Article 2, Clause 4 of the Constitution is very clear that anything against this Constitution is null and void. So I realized that the fight is to implement the Constitution. And there's no better place to do that than from the presidency. It's the Constitution or nothing. Implement the Constitution, and we have 3 broad goals that I'm trying to push for. They are very, very simple. But they are simple in the nature that they are transformative. So basically, we have got what we call economic and social reforms. Notice we are not doing anything about law reforms. Economic and social reforms. And that is one, is to enforce constitutionalism, including the rule of law. That must happen. The law must apply to everybody and to every transaction. Number 2, we must institute fiscal discipline to fix the shaky public finances and structures, including the elimination of corruption and wastage. And wastage, you can even look at the structure of government. Why do you have 24 ministries? I've had a group of experts who have worked over time and produced a structure of government that has only 14 ministries. And this country will run very well. Why wasting all that money having another 8 ministries over and above that? But what we also be looking at, and when we clean up, we have also looked at, if you look at Article 225, Clause 1 of the Constitution, it requires the Treasury to be established as an independent institution. One of the major policy things you have to do is to get the Treasury established like the central bank, run by experts, and the politicians have no access to public money at the whim. The president should not walk anywhere and then to entertain people say, PS, where are you? Milioni 200 iingie kwa hii mradi. Is it in the budget? We must restore the budget as the primary tool of government policy. If it's important, it will be in the budget. If it's not important, it will be outside the budget.
So at the time, for example, we're already, so the budgeting system began in September, right? So what you're saying essentially is that all these things that we see last weekend, 5 million to a church, weekend before that 2 million for a school.
By the time Rudi ufungue shule, hii barabara itakuwa imemalizika.
Those things have to go.
All of those things, you're saying, if it is not in this budget, like we started in September, going on and finishing at the time we come to June, then forget it.
Forget it. Even this borrowing, you hear the IMF is giving people money. This country does not belong to a president. The people have passed a budget, and in that budget, there's no provision for a loan from IMF. For heaven's sake, what is this loan doing? Where is this money going? Domestic borrowing is not in the budget. Why are we borrowing? So the budget must be restored as the primary tool of governance in this country. And if you want to see equity in the country, let us look at the budget. What is being allocated to this region? What is being allocated to what? You will see equity. You don't have to go to the ground. Let us see where the money is going. Then you can now follow the money. Anything else is out. So and to do that, to get that discipline, we must go to the Constitution and separate the Treasury from the Ministry of Finance. Let the Ministry of Finance do the policy things and whatever, but the boss of the Treasury, the National Treasurer, should be like the governor of the central bank. Autonomous, he receives the money from the Kenya Revenue Authority or from the loans that have been borrowed. It goes in that account. Parliament appropriates that money how it is supposed to be used. The controller of budget supervises the use. Then you have accountability. The president waits for your paycheck at the end of the month. When you are traveling,
you apply for...
You go whatever you want to do, but you don't go there and begin promising goodies. There are no goodies. The goodies must be in the budget. So that we restore the place of parliament to begin with.
That is fiscal discipline.
Fiscal discipline. And then corruption people have to be punished. And what has been stolen has to be recovered. If you look at some of the money that has been stolen and is taken out of this country, if it was in a wealth fund, it was also another thing we must institute. If you look at Article 201, Clause D, Clause C, not D, Clause C, we need to save for the future. People are mining gold today. People are mining whatever and are taking things out. What will their future generations depend on in this country? So we must have a tax system. In Norway, minerals are taxed at 78% to go to the sovereign wealth. Here, people are just playing with minerals. They call that and whatever. We must come back and do a resource map of this country and make it public for everyone to know what are the resources we have, and then we must come up with an agenda of transforming those resources into wealth. The ultimate purpose of a leader is to convert resources into wealth. Right now, our if you look at our per capita GDP, is 1,900 US dollars. It's fallen down to 200, it was 2,000 a few years ago. It's now 1,900. Kenya should be able to be at 30,000 US dollars per capita. The question should be to a leader, how do we get there? Not this is a Samburu, this is a Somali, this is a Kikuyu, this is a Luya, this is a Luo. No. The question is, how do you move Kenyans from about 2,000 US dollars per year per capita to $30,000 US? How do you work there?
3 million earning 3 million per year. Per person.
Yeah. Yes.
In this country of ours.
Yes, the resources are there. Because if you look at the ministers, even that day Bandy says that 2 billion is being stolen. It's become like a joke. And there are no consequences to that. Then if you are losing 2 billion and you want to auction Jomo Kenyatta for 34 billion, what are you for about 100 and what? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why don't you get those 2 billion over 1 month and pay off the debt?
I think that some of these things, when they are not said out into the open, is then we are not able to embrace the possibility of their reality. Yeah. So I would like to look at some of those things that you talk about.
Now, let me go to number 3.
But what I want to ask you, if I may, before you go to the number 3, why was it necessary then for you to institute an exploratory committee to then look at your viability for candidacy? Why? Other people will just stand up and say, look, man, I want to be president. Let's go.
Because one thing we are doing is that I'm not a messiah. I don't want to present myself like a messiah for anything. I'm not selling Omtata. I want to sell an agenda. And among those things that people are going to do, or that committee is going to do, is to help develop a vehicle and a policy framework that from day one, if it's implemented, we get this country back on the rails. And behind that committee is a very big secretariat of volunteers in various fields who are working out to try and develop a policy framework so that when you sing that national anthem of the Republic of Kenya, you can see Kenya on the ground. Not singing like you are praying to a dead god.
Okay, point number 3 before we take the break. So the first one was economic and social reforms.
No, the first was constitutionalism and the rule of law. And they feed into each other.
Okay.
Once we enforce the rule of law, like I've just shown you, are separating the treasury and doing all these institutions, then your physical discipline begins becoming possible. Once you get that physical discipline proper in place, you release money. And then this money is now going to deal with the elimination of poverty.
Okay.
And we want to look at 4 key areas.
So let's go again. So first, enforce constitutionalism and the rule of law.
Yes.
B, fiscal discipline. C?
Yes. Fiscal discipline, we want to make sure that public money is controlled and it's used for the benefit of the common good.
Okay.
And to eliminate corruption and wastage.
And eliminate that, that's part of the fiscal discipline. Now, number 3, now you have the money. You have secured this money.
Yes.
You now want to address the questions of poverty. Okay? And the immediate things within that area, you want to address the question of food. The food industry. Liberated from cartels completely. Restore institutions that used to allow farmers to control the industry. Restore things like extension workers. Restore things like they used to call veterinary officers, stuff like that. Restore the agricultural farms that were used for research and for development or whatever. Restore the quarantine areas. So you can also begin to export meat and things like those. So you're going to deal with that in agriculture. But ultimately, the ultimate goal is that agriculture should not be the mainstay of the economy. Agriculture should ultimately become for producing food for Kenyans. The mainstay of the economy has to go into the service industry. We must build factories, we must industrialize. Then you go to the question of health. People are chapping around saying universal health care, universal health care. You cannot run universal health care on private hospitals. The public hospitals have collapsed. There must be a restoration of universal health care. And in the health sector, you must address the question of the medical human resource. Look at all the disharmony we are having in the medical sector. The doctors are on the streets, what have you. You know, during the review process, when they were making this new constitution, there had been a proposal, and it was in the harmonized draft that went to Naivasha, to form a national health commission, like a teacher service commission, to deal with the human resource
for
health at the national level. When it went to Naivasha, the parliamentary committee removed that, but made an undertaking on two things. That by legislation, they would establish that commission to be able to address the human resource issue in health. And it's very important so that doctors can have the freedom to move around. They can be like the teachers are paid centrally. You can have them transferred various to gain different experience. You can put scarce resources at critical centers so that the referrals are there. Not trying to have very, very expensive personnel at every point in every county. So that human commission must be brought back. We must first of all contain the turmoil within the human resource in the health sector. Number two, we need to do also simple things like there's a lot of theft of government stores. Go back and brand them. When I was growing up, I could swallow a Panadol with the word GOK on it. Today, you can't see those things. We need to go back and brand government stores to eliminate the theft that is happening there. We need now to invest in the sector, make public hospitals as good as any. That's when you can begin talking of universal health care. Universal health care on private hospitals is just an extortion scheme. The private hospitals will just chew up that money, and the insurance will remain with nothing. I've seen like the NHIF having very heavy bills, although there was some corruption in it also, but most of the corruption was driven by these private hospitals. So if the government can set up its own institutions, and basically what I'm saying as policy here is that the government must go back to be a provider of goods and services. We cannot allow the private sector to be subsidizing the government. Let the private sector compete with the best that the government is offering. Not that the private sector thrives because the government has failed. So if you can ensure universal health care, the hospitals that the government has, give the basic and the basic that you require, you'll find that the cost of running health care will go down, the insurance schemes will run well, but to try and do what they are trying to do, like even the share, whatever, but the hospitals that are working are private hospitals. We are heading nowhere. So we go to the foundation, we fix the health. The other thing is education. This money that is liberated should be channeled to the public education sector. Restore the public schools. And offer taxpayer-funded education in public schools from primary at least to secondary school, if possible the first degree. But primary to secondary school must be taxpayer-funded because education is so key to this country, we can't ignore it. Our best brains may not be born may not necessarily be born in the richest families. They could be languishing somewhere in Marsabit They could be languishing somewhere in Busia, somewhere, wherever. Those brains should be able to be there, to be given an opportunity to get to the school system and move.
Okay, let's take a break.
So that is the
education.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. 26 minutes to 10. The senator from Busia County.
Yes.
Says he's a senator in the Senate of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
Voted for by the people of Busia.
Yes.
To represent them to represent the whole country in the Senate. Sawa. Senator Okoh Mtata is our guest this morning, and we're talking about his thinking behind the formation of a presidential exploratory committee, a 10-member team. Why did you have to establish it? That's a question that Ndu asked you. Why? And why even put it in the Gazette notice? What's the requirement? There's no requirement for you to do any of those things that you're doing. What's the thinking behind it? We'll continue this conversation shortly. Keep it here.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Do you speak French? Have a degree in business or IT? Have a passion for pioneering innovative solutions? Odoo Kenya is looking for talented professionals like you to become part of an innovative team and shape the future of businesses. Join us and step into your future with us. Don't wait. Apply now at www.odoo.com/jobs. Bienvenue to the Odoo family.
Spice up your life.
Okay, so where are we? Where there's all this traffic in the city earlier, we're seeing that reducing some. Still, between Enterprise Road and Likoni Road, there's still that traffic there. Folks are running away from whatever's happening on the other side, because if you get towards Landis, if you come through Jago Road, you're going to get stuck. So going towards Haile Selassie, there's still some traffic there, and coming in from Gongro on the other side. Uhuru Highway is going to take the cake today, and it's probably going to go well beyond traffic hour. We still have some traffic on the Thika Superhighway between Survey and the Pangani Underpass. Ring Road Westerns looking and connecting with Oloitoktok, and then coming out of Nzima Springs towards James Gishuru is busy. It's busy in both directions. And then we have inbound traffic from the Red Hill Link Road, which is tailing us far back as Peponi Road and coming in from Kitisuru. It is an absolute mess there this morning. So we're going to watch out for that. Who's this? This is still Peponi Road now, snaking around the other side and into the CBD. Not looking good at all. If you're stuck in that, I apologize. If you find a good route, please do let us know, and we can give alternatives to folks this morning. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Okay. So, Senator, why form a committee? Why not just do this thing? Okay, you can form a committee, but why put it in the Gazette notice?
I'm going for a public office, which is owned by Kenyans. And I would like when these people go out to do like public polling and stuff like that, and doing investigation, trying to reach out to possible resource mobilizers and what have you. They have a basis that have clearly been announced in law, they've been gazetted, and they're doing a function that is above board. They're not clandestine. That's why I chose to put in the Kenya Gazette, so that it's in the official record of the Republic, that these people have been given an assignment by myself, and an assignment has got certain TORs, which are clearly published there.
Yeah.
So when they walk into a place, they will be able to show the Gazette notice as the basis upon which they are working. And that's something that's public and in the open.
Are they earning a salary?
No, they're volunteering. They're mainly volunteers. Yeah.
How are you financing them? How are you facilitating them? If you expect them to do a poll across the country, you expect them to hold sittings with people and ask them, what do you think the main pain points of Kenyans are? What would you like to see from a future president? Do you think Okoh Mtata would be there? Who's fueling their vehicle? Who's paying for their hotel?
No, that one I can manage. That one I've got the capacity to do. Oh,
so you're the one who's financing this thing?
I've got the capacity to do from my small businesses here and there. I'm able to put up 2-3 shillings. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the time frame of this exploratory
They've been given
committee?
18 months, but they can report back earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the 18 months I put out, it could be the latest point if one was run, it would just be the tail end of the comet. Yeah, you need to catch it. Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to give consolidated views.
Yes.
And this would be after they've gone around the country
Yes.
and they're talking to people and asking them questions based on some of these things that you've
and
said.
the main thing is, if you look at that, is to develop a policy framework. We don't want to get there, and then, there's a time no government, after it went into power, it called a meeting at the KICC to say the Kenya we want.
Yes.
Then there was the Nairobi we want. This like they took power and they did what they wanted to do with it.
So they're developing a manifesto.
Yeah. Well, it's more than a manifesto. It's called an ideological identity and a policy framework, legal and policy framework. They're going to bring up. Largely, we want to go for a form of developmental state. And even though we are going to have very radical interventions in state corporations, to have them run professionally. We have litigated in the courts until the Court of Appeal. You have orders saying that state corporations should be constituted competitively. You are going to run the Kenya Airways. You want to go and sit on that board. What are the goals? What can you do for Kenya Airways as a board? You have dumped people there who go there to see how they can steal, how they can survive, and all boards are just like that. So even if you have sometimes a very good CEO, he gets bogged down by the kind of board he's given. So you want a professional board, you want professionalized parastatals, we want to really get away from cronyism. Let us give the vehicles to the best drivers there. And bake a bigger cake for this country. So those are the interventions we want to take, very, very deliberate.
Yeah.
You have got the other thing I was going to mention is transport. Transport is a major hindrance to the development of this country. We waste a lot of hours in transport because the state has left it to the private sector. Totally. The state needs to intervene in some very, very specific ways and look at public transport as a strategic area that needs to be focused on. Just look at other countries that are developed. Public transport runs very well. So that's another area I want to look at. And among the issues, people are the groups we have, other than the committee, we've got very many volunteers in other committees working on various policy frameworks that they think can be taken up. So we want to make transport affordable. Even air transport is a is a necessary thing in this country today. You need to be able to fly from Nairobi to Mandera, transact and come back the same day. So we want to try and see if why not have proper airstrips across the world, at least in every county. Basic airstrips, a runway that can handle an average plane, and some tower, some tower and what have you. Open up the airwaves, remove taxation and necessary taxation on the issue, get volumes going, let Kenyans move easily.
Senator Omtata, you've said you don't want to be the Messiah. But all these things, must they wait for you to become president for them to get done?
I wish Ruto could pick it up today and I will support him.
You're a senator. You're a member of the national...
Yes, I'm a senator.
Of the legislature in Kenya. These are things that can be done. Today, if you wanted, for example, to go and lobby, you want to lobby more than 10 million Kenyans to vote for you as president. Can you go and lobby just 67 members of the Senate to support you in a move, for example, to say that our education shall be properly public funded as per the requirements of the Constitution and as per the policy of government, that 100% of our education, basic education, shall be taxpayer funded? Do you need to be president for that to become reality?
Yes, you need somewhere where the country has reached. The Senate, the National Assembly are largely rubber stamps of the executive. The single voices who stand out like mine or the other are nothing. You saw the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Just choreographed. Just choreographed. So the Senate is I think an area whereby...
So what would you do as president to make that reality? Let's just deal with, for example, ensuring that a child in Kenya goes from ECD all the way to, what's the now last class in CBC? It's grade what?
No.
12.
12, yes.
Yeah. Up to grade 12 without having to pay. Taxpayers are paying for that.
First of all, there's a lot of money right now being given to people to pay from their pockets in the terms of bursaries and what have you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money being wasted. That money has to be streamlined into the means of education. And these savings from once you crack down and read the Riot Act. In fact, they say a river does not flow higher than its source. So if the source is polluted, you cannot wait for clean water downstream. You go and clean up the source. That's what I'm happy about. That's what I want to go and do.
So you say as president, then you'll issue a decree and say no more CDF?
Not necessarily a decree. Those have been declared by the courts, but have been captured. What I'll say is that we are implementing the Constitution. You are a legislator. What are you doing with the executive functions? Go and oversight the executive on the ground. If money has to be tied to a constituency, let it be tied, but it goes through the executive channel. You as the MP for the area, you can go and oversight that money it is used. In fact, it would be more efficient use of money than when the money is controlled by the MP.
I have to ask, a lot of things that we've seen and we see currently is that political alignments then breed appointments in government. And those then who have been tasked with responsibility for development, whether it is in a ministry or whether it is in, any other of its related offices. And a lot of that come as a result of loyalty, allegiance, call it whatever you want to call it. How do you run away from such a thing? Because I think it's absolutely necessary for you to ensure development and proper leadership that you cannot do that kind of business with your friends. How would you run away from that?
I don't have to run away. I just implement the law. The law is so clear that those things are not there. That's why in this country you'll find that, other than a few names that you can count maybe on one hand, the so-called billionaires in this country have either been civil servants or politicians. Which means state legacy has been used in an improper way to enrich individuals. So, with a republic, this word republic, I don't know if people understand it. It's the most powerful thing we ever say in this country. A republic is a government of law. And when the Americans had given themselves their constitution, there was an old man called Benjamin Franklin who had really worked for it. He was an old man in his 80s with a very severe gout. He was asked by some of the people, what have you given us? Is it a republic or a monarchy? And he said one thing, a republic if you can keep it. So a republic calls for eternal vigilance. We must keep the Republic of Kenya. When you talk about Republic of Kenya, you must go for a government of law. The real problem we have in this country is rule of law. The experts can do nothing. People are running this country like they're experts on everything. Why don't we create a situation whereby we allow the cream to rise to the top based on merit, not on loyalty, not on friendship? And if that one can go out and it will work. Because this issue of cronyism and whatever has not worked. Even tribalism has not worked for this country. So let us try the rule of law. Let us try to allow experts in various dockets, in the civil service or wherever, to come to the top and function. I'm in my office, I've got so many petitions from civil servants saying, why can't this be done? Like just a few days ago, I got one from the people on tuna, Minister of Fisheries. They came to me and said, look at the resource we have. But because of vested interests, we are only issuing licenses to foreigners to come and fish in our waters. And they showed me data to show that the Indian Ocean is barren in terms of tuna, except on the African coast, with the epicenter being Kenya. $1 trillion shilling.
We're the ones who have tuna.
Yes, mainly
on this African coast.
On the African coast, the Indian Ocean is barren. But now, who are catching it? all are foreigners, just giving licenses. And attempts by these people in the ministry to come up with policies to help have been frustrated. So they came and said, what can you do to help us break out of this? So that we have got people who want this country to grow. They are being denied. You have people who come and say, we would like to invest in something. But if we have got crooks in government who say, give us 30% upfront, so people cannot come into this country. So we need to get rid of those bottlenecks. We need to get rid of these cartels. We need to get rid of a situation whereby that fake fertilizer can be given to farmers by government agencies who are on public payroll and no head rolls. You see, we need to get those kind of things should not happen.
Okay.
And if I became president, there'll be things I'll say, not under my watch. There'll be a list of items of not under my watch.
I hate to sound like a wet blanket here, but you have started between now and 2027. So many people are going to be coming here and saying exactly the same things, pointing out where the problems are, what the solutions should be like, and saying these things can be done easily if I become president. We have seen it many times before. What makes you different? What would make us believe that when Okia says this, it's going to be different from what Ruto told us, what Uhuru told us, what Raila has told us before, what all these other candidates have told us before?
When you look at the kind of manifesto we are developing, we are not having the kind of things we have been seeing, which are basically mirror images of each other. The manifestos that have been coming out, when you look at them, I usually use the analogy of a prison, whereby you have got this big prison, then you have got prisoners and you have got wardens. But the arrangement is that the prisoners occasionally have a chance to choose the chief warden. So there's a fight occasionally every 5 years of who becomes the chief warden. So it is very vicious among the wardens. But when you look at them, their promissory notes or their manifestos are that put me as the chief warden, I will add you time in the sun. I'll fumigate twice a week. I'll improve your food rations. Nobody says I'll break down the prison. Nobody says I will emancipate you. So this culture of handouts and what have you has to go.
You've gotten to the heart of the matter, Senator, because if we look at the culture of corruption, as we call it, which in essence is a manifestation of the impunity, it seems to have gotten to our very souls because it defines us more or less. We are a corrupt people. We all acknowledge we have more than ample human resource. If it is structures of government and plans as to how to execute things, we have archived them. We have them. How do you get people to accept the rule of law? Because the rule of law will run contrary to the very things that I've just said. And it will threaten the livelihood and the lives of very many people. And these are people who will definitely push back.
What I do is one thing, I'm a very big believer in the rule of law. Because in the Garden of Eden, man was told you will be governed by law. When they disobeyed the law, we lost paradise. In Exodus, Moses was given the 10 Commandments. It was the law. It was going to govern you. So the law is central. And the first thing I'll do in the rule of law is to apply it to myself. It will not be ruled by law. It will be rule of law. The first thing is to subject myself totally to that law and do everything within the ambit of that law. The law we have is very powerful, and no individual, unless he raises a militia to establish a different state, can stand up to the law of this country. And so for me, it's not a difficult thing because we already have the text. We already have the Constitution. Take an example. Elections in this country.
Yes.
For president, you always get the mess. Go to Article 138, Clause 2. It tells you an election shall, if there are more than two candidates, the only just read, an election shall be held in each constituency.
Yep.
Why don't we do that? The Americans have the same structure.
in every state. They elect and say who has won in the state. Then even you in the media are able to call. Why are you not able to call an election in Kenya? Why are we disobeying that fact that the election must end at the constituency? Why do we have bombers? Why do we have bombers? And then we create all this chaos. And why is bombers in the law? It's not even in the Election Act that makes the chairman of the IBC the presidential returning officer. It's in the regulations. And they bring all that chaos. Why can't an election terminate at the constituency as the constitution has it? Then, whatever verification, whatever is done at the constituency.
But how can it be done at the constituency? Yet there are 290.
Yes. Get 290 certificates.
And then?
You can call the election.
Who?
Anybody can call the election.
Apana, boy.
The IBC will only validate.
Even that America you're quoting, it's a Senate that calls the election.
No, but they are going to do it in January. Don't we know who has been elected?
Yeah, we can provisionally say.
Don't we know who has been elected?
We can provisionally say.
Yes.
Has it been called?
No, the media called.
Bas.
And Trump is the presidential elect.
Based on?
But the declaration now will happen in January. For us, it is within 10 days. We should be doing that declaration. Not again, they are not going to go on January to begin counting the ballots in each polling station and saying they are verifying and doing whatever. They are not going to do that. They are going to go with those results. The electors have come, and you already know who the president-elect is. That's what should happen even in this country. Let the election be transparent. Let the election end at a point, which is the constituency. Let you media people put 290 reporters out there to return your results. You do the mathematics and say, this thing, there's no winner. We are seeing a runoff.
Senator, let me belabor this point. Everything you're saying requires a support system.
Yes.
And the support system will be Kenyans, individuals who have a similar belief.
Yeah.
How on earth do you get such people? Where do you get them? I mean, they're here, but what process will you use to get them so you know this?
I know that's just what you are doing right now. You are making me reach so many Kenyans with these ideas. So you're going to go out and get these ideas. And I think the next election, one of the clarion calls will be no bombers. If bombers is there, there'll be trouble. We don't want bombers in the elections.
So what do we want?
We want an election as the Constitution prescribes, to terminate at the constituency. Take the results for all the needs be pinned at the constituency. Those who have run for the county seats, if it's like Busia, there are 7 constituencies. You pick the results for the 7 constituencies. You know who is the women rep. You know who is the senator. You know who is the governor. And you know who is the president. For the people of Busia, whom have you elected as president? Then the same goes Madare North, Dagoretti, like that. Then at the end of the day, the 290 constituencies report
to whom?
No, to the people the constituents
who
have elected.
But nationally, who tallies all these things in all these constituencies in all these counties?
You just get an aggregate.
Who is you?
Who?
Now, the IBC chair then declares. He doesn't do a finding. He just aggregates and declares. Well, if you look at the Constitution...
He has to find.
No, if you look at the Constitution, look at Article 86...
There are other things that happen nationally,
like
Senator.
What?
For example, the 50% plus 1 is a finding.
No.
It's after tallying.
It's not a finding. It's just like an aggregation.
Okay.
He just adds, which even you, in the media, when you have got the results from
in the media, don't matter.
No. You have got the 290. You have the 290 constituencies.
I am not in the constitution.
Or even me as a candidate.
You are not in the constitution.
I've got the 290. No. Even Article 10. Look at Article 138 now. 10. Clause 10. It says the chairman shall declare the results. Now look at Article 86. 2 and 3. 2 gives you that in every polling station there'll be a presiding officer. Then at the constituency there's a returning officer.
So the chairman shall declare.
What do? They tally and announce the results.
They announce the result.
But the chairman, the word is
declares the winner.
Declare the winner.
Yes.
He doesn't announce the results. But what have we done? We have given him the powers of a returning officer. The chairman is not a returning officer of anything. The chairman simply...
Do we need you to be president to change that?
No, towards the presidency. That's part of the fight. That the next election has to be happening that way. We must terminate the election at the constituency. Mambo ya Bomas, Mambo ya Kamengo, all those funny things, we don't want them. We terminate at the constituency where everybody's watching, and you know that this constituency voted for so as the presidential candidate with so many votes. Those tallies will be done in the open. We don't want a situation like what we have now, that the certificate President William Ruto was given, when you put on the spreadsheet, the results are different. The mathematics does not add up. When the math doesn't add up at that level, what are you dealing with?
Fire the math teacher.
You see? So, we don't want to end up with a situation like that.
So, Senator, finally.
Yes.
Finally, just to answer City's question. For you to be able to achieve all these things, you need to have people who are like-minded and as idealist as you are to help you realize this. How will you do that? How will
they'll take ballots and go and vote.
How will you identify the people to work with?
No, I'll give them an agenda. The people to work with are just many, and are there. Kenyans.
So they'll sign performance contracts just like the current ministers.
Not the kind of performance contracts. What we are talking about is change, is a systemic change. When you take the treasury away from the Ministry of Finance and set up the national treasurer, and he has got the keys to the purse, not the politicians. It's a game changer, my friend. There are things we need to do, institutions that have to be put up to achieve those kind of things. And if we do that, I'm telling you, public money will be sorted. If we make the budget, the primary tool of governance, even the fight to be president will not be as bad as it is. Right now, when people become president, they think you have captured the state, so you can use it in a way that favors or disfavors some people. But if we remove that by just shifting and making the budget the principal tool of governance, and the people understand it, that if it's not in the budget, it's nowhere. Then when a president walks around, nobody will ask him for freebies. You simply tell them it's not in the budget. Maybe try next time.
Put in the next year's budget.
To get in the next budget. So the country becomes a state, not a private property of whoever is wielding presidential power.
Senator Mtata, thank you very much for joining us.
So, and the way is, move the people. And the people are going to move with us. It's not a walk in the park, but it has to be done and doable.
And somebody must do it.
And somebody must do it. And the national anthem must begin reflecting what this country is. Not today when I sing the national anthem, I'm singing a national anthem to a different country.
Okoh Mtata is the senator from Busia County. He has established a presidential exploratory committee, a 10-member committee that has been gazetted. So he says when they come to you and they are polling and they're asking you questions, just know that they've got his mandate, okay? Thank you very much for joining us. This conversation begins. We have to continue with it and even get some members of that committee.
But it's a work under development. The policy framework is being done. We want to build a vehicle, and I'm just offering myself to be a driver for that vehicle. I'm not offering myself as the solution. I want to drive the vehicle.
You're just a driver.
Yeah, so there are many people working on that, and the very, very clear policies will come out very soon. But for the cabinet, we have already that one we have done. We'll have a small cabinet of 14 ministers, closed chapter.
Very good.
Cut off the wastage.
2 minutes after 10. Thank you for tuning in to Kenya's biggest conversations. See you again tomorrow.